Hello, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We have some very, very late action for you tonight. We are just about ready to hop into match number 1 for Apex Legends. Tonight, it will be Octane Premier Division that you're seeing here. Of course, I believe it is also the match day for the Open Division, but that's not what we're here for. We're here for Premier. It is going to be USM. They are in Group A, which they will be taking on Group C today, and obviously everyone else in Group A. If you're unfamiliar with the format in Apex Legends, this is also what happens in ALGS. Essentially, what goes down is you have every team set into a group. In Premier's case, it is A, B, C, and each week there are 2 groups that go against each other, and then one group gets a bye. In Open Division, it's a little bit more complex. I think they have 3 total lobbies, and there's still teams getting byes as well. So, of course, Premier Division is the top of the top. That's where you want to be. That's what we have for you tonight. It is Group A that USM is a part of. And just to get this out of the way, I'll list off every single team that's in this group. You're going to forget it in 5 seconds. I'm going to forget it in 5 seconds, but I'm going to mention it for good measure because these are the teams that will be sticking with USM throughout the entirety, at least of this stage. It is going to be TMU Bold, KSU Gold, UAB ESA Rift, I don't know what school that is, Utah Red, UCF, Texas Tech, UFC, which I'm pretty sure is Cincinnati, but it might not be. It might be a different school. St. Clair and RIT Black. A lot of really solid teams there. And if you're here for the weekly, what was that, 2-3 weeks ago that we casted that?
Yeah.
You will recognize a few of those teams. TMU Bold, KSU Gold, UCF, I think, may have been in that. And St. Clair, of course, they're everywhere. And RIT Black, I think, even was in there too. So a lot of teams that are probably familiar, at least somewhat for you guys, and if not, it's not a huge deal. We're learning about these teams as well. But I'm here. I'm Wizard, joined by Taco. How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm really excited for this Apex match. You know, we saw what they could do in that Octane Season 3 or Weekly 3, and they absolutely slaughtered the competition. So I'm excited to see what they can do against basically all of the same teams.
Yeah, there's a lot of these teams are very similar, and even looking at the teams that are in Group C, you see a team like Tamu Maroon, the main one that was really contesting USM at the end of Championship Sunday, and even then, they still won by a decent margin, but regardless, that's definitely one of the teams I want to be looking out for outside of USM, of course, Tamu Maroon, just to reiterate that. Another team that I do recognize, at least, is SDSU, San Diego State. I don't really remember what the standings were for them in that final, but I believe they did play in that last lobby, so that's something worth noting. But a lot of the other teams, fairly new, or not new, but just teams that I don't really recognize. So while we're here, let's talk about the overall standings, though. I'll let you handle it because I've already been yapping for way too long. I'll let you kind of run through. We have the top 10 listed. We'll get those out for you.
So this is Premier Division Week 2, and these are the Octane Collegiate standings. Sitting at number 1 is UQTR Black, who's at 78 points.
77. Sorry,
77
I miswrote
points.
that one.
Southern Miss at 75, U of C at 67, GCU Purple at 64, RIT Orange at 59, CSUF Blue at 51, KSU Gold at 42, Utah Red at 34, Texas Tech at 30, and Texas Orange at 25. So USM is second place right now, only down by 2 points.
Absolutely. And that's something that's really interesting to me too, as the top team, UQTR, they are not playing this week. They were in Group B, so they will not be in tonight. And that's going to allow Southern Miss and UFC, who are at seeds 2 and 3, to take over that first place spot, at least for the time being. Of course, that's going to change when Group A has a bye. Of course, that is not until next week. So today you'll have A versus C. Then next week you'll have B versus C. So USM, UFC, KSU Gold, Utah, and Texas Tech will get a bye along with all the other teams in Group A. But I do find it interesting. Southern Miss and UFC going to be battling it out essentially for that first place spot tonight, unless if one of the other teams that are near that bottom of the top 10, KSU Gold, Utah Red, Texas Tech, if any of them kind of have a huge night. Of course, Texas Tech sitting at 30, that's a lot of space to make up. And USM is all the way up at 75. So likely you're going to only really see Southern Miss and UFC take that first place spot. I don't see anyone else really making that, especially because B is, of course, Group C is just getting started tonight. This is their first match of the season, or match day of the season. So they're, of course, going to be just building up to what we have in the overall standings. And we still got a few weeks for all of this to figure it on out. After next week, after the bye next week for Southern Miss, the Group A will come back and finish the regular season with 2 straight weeks of match days. So that's October 25th, November 1st. Those will be the match days for Group A after that. And we'll have, and then there's another week of play. So they'll get 2 bye weeks, but it's not until next week and then the end of the season. So we still got a lot of action for you guys. Not sure what streams are going to look like for the rest of them. It's very far ahead. 1, 2, I just don't have the schedule in front of me, so I can't really see it. But we should be getting pretty much every Apex play day from now on into our feed here, hopefully. That's obviously the ideal circumstance, but of course, things change and, whatever. But we'll see that as we get through the rest of it. So games 1 through 3, I originally wrote that it was on World's Edge because that's what the map was selected. It is actually Storm Point, and I probably messed that up in my head anyways. But matches 1 through 3 will be on Storm Point, and then matches 4 through 6 will be on World's Edge. So we have pretty much, it's obviously the same 2 maps. There's not much outside of that, but we'll see how they end up doing. I don't have the map for where everyone is going to be landing today, so I don't really know what to look for. And I don't know if it's going to be the same as the weekly where they were drafting spots or how that's going to work. So we'll have to see as we get through the game. But I do see we have basically everyone in the lobby. There's 1 player that isn't in, but outside of them, we have literally everyone else. And actually, I do see match starting, so looks like a team is going to have to play with just 2 players. Everyone else, though, has all 3, so very nice to hop on in. And of course, it is 8:06. Hard start time was 8:05 if we went that far, and that is exactly what we are getting to. So all the observers are in, all the players are in -1. Very excited, though. Actually, something I completely forgot to mention. Let's talk about the Mozambique. It's gotten changed as of yesterday.
Yes, so an interesting change because Mozambique was the meta, more than likely still is. These changes really did not do much to the gun. As of yesterday, the single and the Kimbo had their rate of fire reduced. Now, I don't know specifically how low, but it can't be more than like 0.15 or
yeah, I have no
something
idea.
like
They
that.
didn't. So Respawn tweeted this out, and they never said the exact numbers. So it's reduced, but like
Yeah, and then
By
the
what?
mag size for single was reduced from 6 to 5, and obviously the Akimbo from 12 to 10. The blast pattern hit has increased, so basically the spread of the shot is increased, and then the Akimbo projectile size reduced. So we'll see. Maybe teams are changing up what they use Mozambique
Spotted a
based
weapon
off
supply
of
bin
these
over there.
changes, but I doubt it. It doesn't seem like anything's really happening to it so far.
yeah. And since these changes literally happened yesterday, it's kind of hard to really figure out what it's gonna do to the guns. And I don't know. My assumption is that it's meant to reduce the Mozambiques being used at long range because we've seen them used almost like snipers. So you can see there, Thalos has already picked up a Mozambique as well. We'll have to keep track of it and see what those changes really mean. Again, this happened yesterday, so there's really no clear telling of what it can do. At least from my perspective, I don't watch a ton of Apex, so I don't know what the pro players are saying and all that. And they're also out of season technically at the moment. Champs happened about a month and a half, 2 months ago. So there's really not a lot of info out there, at least right now, on what the Mozambiques are to this day. But of course now we do have are hopping on board with Southern Miss. We'll have to see where they decide to rotate. And of course, if you remember, they are at 75 points, just 2 behind the side of UQTR, who is not in lobby today. Main team to be looking out for is UFC, which I'm trying to see where they are at. I can't quite see them, but you'll see there, it'll be Echo, where Southern Miss has landed. There's really no one near them. There's a team towards the pylon, and also one to their left, but they seem to be rotating out as well. We'll have to get a glance at what this I don't know what team that is actually in front of them. I almost said Mela. That is definitely not a school that is listed. So we'll have to find out what school that is later on.
But Theo is gonna take that little. I can't remember the name of it.
The Evo Harvester, I believe. That or is the scanner, one of the
I
two.
think it's, yeah, he just took the scanner.
Yeah.
He's trying to figure out where people are. Not ended up engaging anybody, but you know they're just trying to get a sense of where people are, where they should rotate. It seems like Viz is trying to take down this.
Also gotten stuck on the crane, I think, for a second, so made it a little bit easier to take it on down. You'll see Viz, and I'm aware that it says Ziv. His actual tag is Viz. I did not know he was gonna change it, but regardless, it's the same person.
It's just back.
It is literally just backwards, which I find kind of funny.
Yes. So it seems like Viz is running R301 Mastiff, which is interesting. I'm pretty sure the Mastiff has a little bit of faster fire rate than the Mozambique. So we'll see how that goes. Thalis running the 30-30 repeater, also running Mastiff, which is interesting because I'm pretty sure Thalis had the Kimbo Mozambiques earlier. So maybe they're trying to change up what they're running. Yeah, and Theo's running a Bolt and an EVA 8 auto shotgun. So it seems as if they're going away from using that Akimbo Mozambique, probably because of the changes.
Yeah, and right there, I mean, we talked about it. We didn't really know fully what the changes, like how much the changes affected teams playing, and maybe we're seeing Southern Miss, of all teams, pass it on up and just understand that the Mozambiques aren't the sniper rifle shotguns they used to be, which is what their original intention, I'm pretty sure, was supposed to be. You can see now USM going for the spiders, just continuing to up the Evo, get to those higher tier shields as it is ideal, and of course grab any bit of loot that they can drop too. Not a whole lot going on though. They're going to be playing this a lot slower than what you'll see some teams in this lobby probably go for, as now it's already, I think, a fight here. We'll have to see how that one turns on out. Right now, Southern Miss is back down. Smokes are everywhere, so it's very hard to see. Now you're seeing one of the walls get tossed on up. Southern Miss just have to fly forward. They aren't in a great position here. Viz gonna make his way ahead, try to shoot these players in the back, and I don't know if the team is very aware of it. Theo, though, does go down. Thaler's very weak. Does at least find one, though, and that's gonna be UHE eliminated, so it looks like Southern Miss have made it out of this, but just barely. A bit of a scare very early into the game here. Southern Miss, though, prepared to handle it.
Yeah, I mean, Thalis barely got that med kit off right there. Almost knocked down to the storm. Would have been okay because of Viz rezzing him. But I mean, what an early kill right there. Getting your team up the purple this early is really nice. Now, did not see this earlier, but apparently Thalis got a knock on the Bangalore with the grenade that he threw into the air.
I didn't see that either. I didn't know that he hit that. That's I'd imagine very helpful, as Thalis is going to have to definitely pop another med kit if there is one around. Theo is now respawning too. Southern Miss, of course, since the storm's not doing a lot of damage right now, they can just hang out here for a little bit, although they will, of course, look to move when Theo gets back in. They also have that vehicle to work with to get out of the storm a lot quicker, but they will, of course, be uncontested too. As Theo grabs his loot, now able to hop back into the vehicle. Southern Miss not only taking a team out, but making their way into the circle a bit late, but still late is better than never.
What's a little engaged right there from Southern Miss. Went from shooting spiders to an instant team wipe. So fast too. I mean, that engage was.
I didn't even notice it, and then I just see a bunch of smokes going down and a wall going up. I was like, oh, I guess there's a fight now. Couldn't even tell.
Not at all. Southern Miss is gonna take this Evo Harvester. Trying to rotate in Storm. Storm's still moving.
Wait, did you see that kill feed? Did KSU down one of their own teammates? As another KSU player goes down, that has to be something incorrect. There's no way that they're just getting team downed like that.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just a bug or something, but it's just really weird to see that. Oh, something I want to mention while we're here, since Southern Miss is still rotating back, as St. Clair losing some players, is that Theo mentioned to me earlier today that there's I think 2 or 3 teams last week that were kind of giving them a lot of trouble in the early game. So maybe that's something that a lot of teams are trying to take into account, find where USM is at, or at least be a bit more aggressive now that we're not just in a preseason tournament. Now they have the season format to work with. Just find teams, start jumping on them a bit earlier, as St. Clair has been eliminated. More spiders out for USM as well. This is something that they're very, very good at. You see them getting spiders all the time. I feel like I've seen them so many times go straight for them, and you'll see their shield get already at purple. I feel like they're one of the best teams in Octane, at least from my knowledge, of getting that Evo up very, very quickly, very early on, having that advantage in the shield game.
Yeah, I mean, not only that, but they used a bunch of syringes and med kits getting out of that storm, so they had to utilize those spiders to restock up on everything. As you see, Thalos still not completely full on his HP, just running to get that. Viz is going to go for that Evo Harvester with Thalos. I'm pretty sure getting that scanner, which he does. Only sees, I'm pretty sure, one team on the map from that scanner, knowing there's really no one around right now. Just trying to rotate out, loot up, find more people, because their shield, I'm pretty sure they're about halfway until max.
Medkit here.
Really important for the end game.
Roll, but they work the best.
Trying to find any loot here.
Syringe here.
It's tough to find things to talk about when all they're doing is looting. They are so far away from other teams. And this is how we've seen USM play before, is that they just kind of hang back, lay low, let the other teams beat up on each other, and then not only get those placement points, but get those kill points, especially towards the last couple of circles. That's where you're going to see a lot more action for USM. And obviously the circle's also really, really small, so it just forces action. But realistically, Southern Miss is not going to have a lot of interaction. Like, that early game fight that they had is quite rare. It's not something that you see a ton from USM. And like I mentioned earlier too, there are a couple teams that did end up contesting them in the early game last week when we weren't streaming it. So maybe it's just teams taking advantage of that season format. You have a lot more matches to continue grabbing points on, so you can be a bit more aggressive, be a bit more risky with how you take your fights. As you see UCF now going down, new kill leader. To be fair, only 3 kills, but regardless, still worth noting, as there are now 17 squads left. 3 have been eliminated here in match number 1, but we've still got a lot of time to go, not only here, but also in the rest of the match day.
As we see, Thalos sitting at that max Evo right now with shield, and then Theo and Viz are both like 3 shots off. I'm pretty sure they spot a team, a smoke goes down.
And yeah, there's a team shooting from behind them, but of course, shots not really going to connect from that range. It's USM going to take the smart path and find their way not only to another scanner, but also towards the circle. Going to be a lot closer to it. That scan will also give them intel. Look at the mini-map. You can see there's an entire team directly to their right. We'll have to find out if they decide to engage them. Likely not. Just going to play through this building into the circle. Won't be taking nearly as much storm damage as we saw previously. You can see some pings going on up too. Also a dragon to take down if they ever so please. Theo is the only player left on USM that isn't at that full Evo, so may look to see him take it down to grab the rest of the Evo. Only needs 207. As now you'll see exactly that. Theo should get to max here and have that red shield.
It doesn't seem like he did. About 100 off, which, you know, isn't really that bad. A couple good shots on
a player literally anything else.
Yeah. Attention. It's going to go really well. Seems like Theo's getting shot.
Maybe we spoke a little too soon. Maybe I spoke a little too soon on the whole shield thing. Is now they're kind of pinned behind this rock. It's not a lot of places to go. Might be the definition of stuck between a rock and a hard place. As J-Hoop gonna get a down with the sniper. That's gonna go onto another KSU player. I'm surprised they're even still alive with how many times I've seen them go down.
Yeah, I mean, I know KSU, pretty sure we've seen them run snipers in past matches too, and
Yes.
they can hit their shots.
They are very, very good on those snipers. So we'll see if they can, one, find a sniper, and two, if they can make that sniper use effective. USM has managed to buy themselves some space of the circle slowly about to start closing in. Shots downrange. Bayless does start connecting onto a few. Isn't taking damage either, so doing a very good job just keeping other teams aware of their presence. Now you'll see the smokes come in for Viz. Gonna start jumping down, seeing if they can cut these players off. They may go for at least a little bit of damage, but also look to stay alive, because of course those placement points are gonna mean a super amount more than those KP.
Yeah, I mean, there's still 17 squads left, and the circle is already so small, which is a funny thing about all of these matches. There are a ton of people left in these circles, and right whenever people start engaging, they all start dropping on supply. As you see, there's a little Valkyrie hit there. It's like she's just a little bit away from other players on top of this rock, trying to take sees another team. Theo hits the tree, doesn't actually hit the players, which is a very unfortunate shot right there. 6 Evo on Theo's shield until max. He literally one more hit. Is almost going down. Probably gonna get hit by this bangle.
He just slid and found someone there. I think that player was down, but it was kind of hard to tell, as a couple of teams have gone down now. Ottawa and TU Cherry both out of this one. Viz trying to pop the medkit, does get it off, and now attempting to take down this player who is just unfortunately not going to have anything they can do about it. Viz will now be the new kill leader as CSUF Orange goes down. You're going to see J-Hoop hitting another snipe onto a KSU player, as KSU now again in a sticky situation. It feels like that's been the case for them the entire day, but maybe not, as we'll finally see some damage. But Theo gets knocked from outer space. Theo will again get eliminated. It's the second time this game he's gotten taken out. But of course, the other two are still up. KSU Gold's CSUDH Cardinal also going to go out of game number 1. You see Viz just barely able to get out alive after grabbing Theo's respawn banner. Wow, I blanked so hard. I wanted to say card because of Fortnite, and it's not. It's completely, I mean, it's the same concept, it's different thing. But
looks like
here's the
Mozambique. Picked up the Mozambique. He's trying to shoot at long range, but nothing in that hit at all. And you can kind of see that increased spread if you play a lot of Apex. Oh my gosh.
Viz has gone down, but you saw there, the call was great for USM. Thayless has the intel to know that player is not only super weak, but just trying to get away. Eliminates a team as well, so you're going to get a lot of points out of this. Also, I do see in chat that the point system for the rankings is based on how you do overall in the day, not just combining all of your points total. Same as ALGS style, so worth noting that as well. Thank you for letting us know in the chat. I have very minimal intel on how all the scoring and such is done in this league.
Looks like Southern Miss is going to go to try and revive Theo, which is a little bit of a risky play, as we see there might be players shooting from the top of that little rock. Probably players in that building too. Ends up getting the respawn on Theo. Just suddenly trying to play their line, as many kills as they can. Viz takes some shots off the players.
Southern Miss doing a great job of staying alive. Viz is taking some damage, but is he able to escape? At least downs across or behind the barrier, so that res will come through. Theo will be in place to watch over the rest of the squad as they start healing on up. Only 8 squads left. USM does have a decent amount of kills, but of course the KP are going to be what's going to keep them at the top of the leaderboard for the day. Viz will get the med kit off. Pyro going to find 2 players to take down. Theo trying to stay alive. I thought he was getting shot from outside the storm, but I could be wrong. Does end up getting downed, and that player will get taken down just barely. Viz is the only one left alive for Southern Miss, just trying to dive onto this team in the building, try and give himself some space to work with to revive his down teammates.
Not able to find anything at all. Viz is gonna rotate out, play his life, try and make other squads fight each other because they're really in a tough position right there. I mean, no way up except for to climb on that or to ride on that zip line. I'm also believing a little bit.
You'll be all right.
Viz
Gotcha.
should be able to get at least one respawn off, or sorry, revive off, and he isn't. He just gets jumped in on. I don't know what team that was, but they go out in 8th. They had a decent amount of kills, but still, you're seeing a lot more aggression out of these teams in the Premier Division. Now, you can see in the circle, look at this mess of teams that we've got to sort out for the rest of this game. 7 squads left, but slowly, everyone is going down. We'll have to hop on board with whoever just to see what happens. We're going to be on with Tamu Maroon.
Look at that Evo. Look at their Evo.
They're
level.
all blue.
They're all blue. That is interesting. Well, they all just leveled up at once.
ISU gonna fall now. 6 squads remaining, and we are into the last bit of circles here in game number 1. Look at this position from, I think that was UU. It is UU. They're all the way on top. Tamu Maroon goes down, and this is a great spot. And if I remember correctly, this is the exact player that was hitting a lot of really, really good snipes in the weekly that we got to see a few weeks ago.
He doesn't even have a sniper. He's running a 30-30 repeater, which is a mark. Dude is hitting his shots like crazy.
And they have a great position. Look at the verticality that they have compared to literally everyone else in this circle. They have a huge advantage here as long as the circle continues to go their way. I think they will have to start moving here somewhat soon, but now we are into the top 5 as our HUD has gone away. That's unfortunate, but of course that will eventually fix itself, I'd imagine. As there it is, it's back. I don't know what that was, but it doesn't matter. As it's going to slow down here for just a little bit. Of course, you'll see some damage getting taken from players, but nothing really major. And just basically waiting for this circle to close on in, and that's when you'll start seeing some teams have to go for some fights.
Now, it's interesting to see. I did see that little Predator tag on his 30-30 or yeah, 30-30 repeater for a second. So the one sniping is in fact a Predator, which makes sense in the way that he was hitting his shots. But UU Red really good position, like you said. Probably gonna end up taking the game, but they will have to rotate. Interesting. They're gonna be in an open spot just on top of there. Gold Mozambique actually from Sniper Club right here.
Let's move this way.
Interesting. I have never seen that.
They may have gotten nerfed, but I don't know if the nerf was going to be enough, especially when you're in short range like this. So we'll see if they can make use of those Mozambiques. A lot of damage being done already. As the team in that building had to push out. That was probably TMU Bold. They are gone very, very quickly. As we are down to the top 4 in game number 1. You're going to see Sniper Club down a player there. And slowly they should rack up a lot of kills. Again, the verticality is just such a huge advantage for UU Red. They should take match number 1. Sniper Club all the way up top here. You're seeing the damage is a little bit less, but it's realistically still going to be very, very good. Although now they have to jump down. One of the UU players goes down. Smokes are abound. KSU Black is going to fall. Now 2 squads remaining. It is going to be a 3v1. That will be UU Red finishing off game number 1. They will be your champions.
Wow, I mean, what a game from UU Red. Barely anybody even looked at them to shoot. They were just taking free shots, taking the damage off of them. Just beautiful plays. On top of that little hill there, amazing.
Yeah, great stuff from UU Red. You saw USM. They fell at, I believe it was 8th place. So they've got some work to do if they want to be ahead in this lobby. But that's why you play 6 total matches and not just 1, because stuff like that happens.
Yeah. But, I mean, a little bit, I won't say rough start. They did really well, but it's not going to be enough to really push them over the top.
And you will see they had 5 kills, so still up there. But again, you'll see UU Red first place, 9 kills as well to go for that game. Look at UFC at number 11. They had 11 kill, or sorry, not 11. So I cannot read. They had 7 kills. So that's also one to be worth noting. And we're just popping straight into game number 2. We will still, of course, stay on Storm Point as we get through this. But the first 3 going to be on Storm Point. The second 2 going to be on World's Edge. How do you expect Southern Miss to bounce back here in game number 2?
I think they're going to play it the same way that they've been playing it. Obviously, still rotating those spiders, getting their Evo shield up, because it did work out for them in the beginning. They did take out a team. It's just they were put in an unfortunate position. Obviously, UU Red had that high ground and were constantly shooting at USM while they were in a fight with another team. Couldn't really do anything, just put in an unfortunate position. So they'll bounce back. They'll find something to do. Hopefully the Storm works with them a little better.
Yeah, especially with where they're landing. They are landing at, I believe it was the bottom right corner of the map. So that circle spawning all the way at the opposite corner is not very helpful, especially when you have to constantly make that run with these teams that are obviously getting better landing spots for where the circle is going. You're going to see Echo be the place of location for USM once more, as they're going to go straight down and get into this game. We have match number 2 ahead of us. We'll see what they're able to pick up right off rip.
Now, it's interesting to see players swapping from an EVA 8 auto shotgun to a Mozambique, and then back to back to EVA 8 autos, which usually you don't see. And I think no one's really used to shooting with them because we've seen a lot of missed shots from these EVA 8 auto shotguns. So I guess it's affecting players. The way that this Mozambique change is really working.
Yeah, and I was really curious to see if it would have much of an effect at all on the gameplay. I mean, obviously it should. Like, those are some pretty drastic changes to any weapon. But with how powerful they were previously, I didn't know how much you could realistically keep them out of meta. Not that they're fully out of meta now. It's just it's not like it's the only gun you're gonna see some players use.
Yeah, and it's very interesting to see Theo actually dropped his Mozambique for that Sentinel. Apparently gonna try and run the Sentinel charge, which is really good because he can charge it up with those small bats and hit for, I mean, a ton of damage, which is really good. Now, I don't know, Viz having the Nemesis and also running Akimbo
Mozambique here. 2 to the chest, 1 to the head. Solid shotgun pistol.
Probably is running an R301 Hemlock in a Mozambique. Interesting.
Also, we saw, I believe it was Theo pick up an alt accelerator, and he should have his ultimate already. It is Theo. As you can see there, the ultimate is charged on up, so not crazy to think about right now, but if they do get into another very quick fight like we saw last game, then that's going to come in handy to have if you need it.
Yeah.
Or if they need it.
Yeah, I mean, this Nemesis is going to be a real killer here for Southern Miss, because as you shoot, it shoots faster and faster and faster. It just means a ton of damage. However, you have to hit your shots for it to actually work out, which Southern Miss definitely can do. You know, as we see, they have been shooting really good. It seems as if that team right there is rotating to pylon, Southern Miss not really caring that much about it. Probably going to try and rotate outside of those spiders. Might end up getting caught. These teams are about to engage each other.
Basically right above where USM is at too. We saw this style of rotation last game. They're simply going to go for this dragon, and then I would imagine obviously loot whatever it drops. And from there, take out the spiders if they haven't done that already. I do see Thalos pushed up pretty far, so maybe those spiders are getting taken care of a bit quicker. We'll have to wait and see, as another ult now available for Thalos. Actually just going to be looting ahead of the rest of the squad. Seeing the pings on the minimap too, giving any intel over to the side of Southern Miss.
And I'm pretty sure they see those teams engaging each other. They're looking to try and get some damage off here because their Evo shields are still at level 1 and Viz the only one at level 2. So rotating that Evo Harvester, looking for any teams that they can, trying to get their damage up.
And UU Red has already been eliminated. They won last game, and now they are just gone out in last place.
Yeah, and they're just trying to rotate right now, looking for anything they can. Running a little slow here. Nothing really happening. 18 squads left already, which is a similar position Southern Miss was in last time, except they really haven't run into any squads. Another scan coming out. Southern Miss still going to try and go for those spiders, upping their Evo shield. Looks like they're actually trying to rotate out now. Gonna completely miss the spiders. Trying to just go up this zip line. Trying to find anybody. Trying to find anybody they can. Not really working. Viz jumping up on here, looking for any player that they can. It looks like they're running to those, I think are they Prowlers?
Bogey over there.
They spot a team, actually. I don't think the team's, it seems that the team's shooting. What trigger control here from Viz, not shooting at all, waiting for his team to get a good line shot off of. It seems as if they have started shooting damage all over. Broke the shield on the Bangalore. Viz pop ult, trying to pick up this Bangalore kill.
Very disciplined play there from USM to go with this possible team wipe. As you see the Rolling Thunder gonna get it down onto one player. Now USM can start to pounce here. They're gonna finish off that kill and see if there's anyone else around. I do see Viz, I believe, was the one who gets credit for the kill on the downed player. For now, I believe the other two have rotated away as Thalis just pinging some loot there. There'll be a med kit to pick on up. And it looks like, yeah, that fight has dissipated for the time being. 17 squads remain, and now the Prowlers are in their hands.
Yes, Prowlers. I forgot the name. I was thinking of the gun, not the actual. But I'm pretty sure Southern Miss is gonna make sure that that team cannot rotate back to that box to grab their teammates' respawn region. Just trying to use these Prowlers to up their Evo shield. Viz already at the purple Evo, and Theo and Thalis looking very close to getting that purple Evo. Also, Thalis 400 Evo away, and they're still watching over that box right there, waiting for the other team to come back to receive it.
And since they're in circle here, they can wait all they want. The storm has moved, though, pretty far away from where USM is currently located, and they may just have to leave that banner and unfortunately not be able to finish up the finish up the rest of that team, which I forget which one it was. I didn't really get a great look, but
it seems as if they see where another squad is, which is right underneath them. U of A, right there. They might go and try and intersect them. I don't think that they can see that they're rotating around the rock. They're gonna try and cut them off anywhere they can, looking for these kills, which they desperately need to put them over. Trying to find anything. Still running, Theo's still running Sentinel, but changed out the, I think he ran R301. Switched out R301 with the Mastiff shotgun. It's USM rotating, trying to find any people they can to up their points in this game, as they did finish 8th last.
And it looks like they've got a decent run to circle, so they've got a lot of time to make on up. 35 until the storm starts coming through this area. We'll have to see where USM elects to go. No, I'd imagine they will just simply continue running. No need to use an evac here. You can start in the mini-map top left of your screen. You kind of see the outline of where the edge of circle is, but maybe Thalis has just spotted someone as he's going to be starting to chase something. I'm not sure what. may have been a team, may have just been
Delusion.
a false sight of something else.
Which is an interesting play, shooting off his rockets into that open area. Because, I mean, I didn't see anybody. I don't know if you saw anybody.
I'd like to imagine their vision, especially in game, is better than mine. So they had to have, especially now with how many resources they're committing to this. They definitely saw something. I'm just not sure what. As Thalos is gonna grab that basically UAV. I'm gonna have to just equivalent some of these things to COD, the scanner, and now they have a lot more intel to work with, some proper information that will let them know there's no one too close, but just be aware of the left and of the right, your pinches. There are teams somewhere, somewhat in the vicinity, but nothing too close to home.
Yeah, I mean, and as you see, they're rotating out. They know where the teams are. One team rotated through that tunnel, and which is where they're looking at, waiting for the team to come out, but I don't think they are. They're just trying to rotate into circle, get a better position than they had last game to try and pick off some teams, kill some players, you know, because they need these kills. Don't remember, I think they're only at 1 kill. I think they've only spotted 1 team so far. Yeah, only 1 kill for USM. They are on purple Evo shield, which is pretty good. A little bit of a ways away from Max. But we'll see how they decide to play this.
And it looks like they're just going to be patient for the time being. There's a little bit of space between the edge of circle and where they're at currently. That's not always typical of USM. They do tend to sit as close to the edge of circle as possible. You can see a few players rotating ahead of Viz there, just a little bit above where he had the crosshair placed. And now USM going to start moving towards this building. We'll see if they try to attack or if they just want to get an idea of who is rotating around. GCU will fall, 15 squads now remaining. USM still got a little bit of time before they get back to where they ended up placing last game.
Yep, I mean, smart plays by USM. I think they're rotating around to the next circle, which is a smart, but they know that a team was back there due to the scanner ping that we saw from the other team. They're trying to, you know, play, rotate, and pick off any team that they can. Seize a team, trigger discipline from USM right now.
And look at that, waiting for the rest of the squad. Viz is gonna find one. Sniper shot just barely gonna go above his head. Maybe even a little bit of a haircut there for Viz. Thalos trying to watch over. The smokes are down so they can push this player out of the position. We'll hop on with Thalos, see where they are going to drop. It looks like they may have gone down into that ravine. And this player, look at that position. How do you even get there? As Thalos took a second to even realize that the player was sitting on top of those rocks. Has to pop a bat. Viz is still pushed forward in position to take this team out. Now they have verticality on that squad. They also have the circle here. They're just at the edge of it, so they will be able to sit here for the time being. Sentinel in the hands of Theo. We'll see if USM is able to find a few more kills.
I did not expect that player to be there. I mean, shooting at him, sitting on a rock.
And it's not just like they were on top of like a rock that you're seeing USM sit on top of. It was like in the middle of like a mountainside where it's like a very distinct hop up that you just need mechanics to do. I just didn't think I'd ever see a player sitting in the side of the mountain like that.
I'm pretty sure that was a Pathfinder too, which, I mean, makes sense on how he got up there. But still, that's a very interesting spot. I mean, leaving yourself out in the open on top of a rock is on a wall is insane. But USM trying to find these kills. I'm pretty sure they did not get the finish for the other team. Viz getting shot at I can't remember the guy's name, but it's a drone.
Yeah.
Trying to get the kill on that drone so that they don't get scouted.
SDSU gonna fall. Now Southern Miss also having to deal with some pressure from behind. It's gonna be some teams sitting in front of them to go with it. But look at all the damage that we're seeing USM put down, trying to make this work, as that nade should do a decent bit of damage. Now the Rockets will do the same. Viz is pushed so far up, having to hop into the storm to see if he can find a down or two. Does manage to do just that. UAB ESA gonna be eliminated too. Syringe pop for Viz. Don't think he got any kills out of that. He's sitting at 2 right now, and I thought there was an entire team back there, but maybe he only just did some damage. We could even be seeing a third party that just is out of our vision.
Yeah, I mean, what a beautiful play right there from Viz. Rotating around that to get all of those kills and damage on that team. I mean, sitting at 479 evo kill max. I do not know what... Oh, he's standing on top of the barrier.
Okay.
It's hurting him.
Yeah.
But he clearly doesn't care. I mean, barely did any shield damage. He's gonna pop a bat. Yeah, a bat. Trying to find anybody. So they're missing a very good position. A similar position to what we saw you use red last game that ended up being them the win. There's 12 squads left. Southern Miss looking very good right now. Knows there's a team in the building. Trying to find anyone.
And just someone in the open. He's just caught out in the open. That's a down for Viz. Maybe expecting they could get a better rotation. I do see now one of their teammates is also under there, so that's likely why that was occurring to begin with. USM want to take advantage, but they can't just hop down recklessly, and the circle is also rotating a different way, so you're going to see them pop the evac and get on out of there.
I'm pretty sure that was the same Pathfinder that we saw on top of that.
It may have been, to be honest. There's a good chance. And now USM going to rotate to the opposite end of where the circle is headed towards. CSDH finding some kills on their side. Now USM have landed somewhat safely. There's shots coming from across the way, but kind of a tough angle for them. But now they're pinched, and that's going to be Thalos going down. Might be able to get res, but Theo in a tough spot as well. KSU Gold gonna fall. 10 squads remaining. UFC gonna fall. Now 2 downs onto the USM players. Viz last alive. It likely be finishes onto both of those players too. Thalos and Theo will be fully elim. Just a pinch for Viz, just trying to get full damage. Ends up eliminating TMU both by himself. Another player ahead of him. Gonna take that player out. 3 kills for Viz. TTU Red now gone.
He's still alive. This 3 kills right there, 2 team wipes, 2 kills that knock the teams out. But he's just gonna play this alone. He doesn't, or I'm pretty sure that is no, that isn't a respawn thing that he has. But he's gonna play it alone. You know, there's nothing to respawn his team with, so he's just gonna have to play this really smart. 7 squads left.
May still look to grab the banners at least, just in case there's a way to get the respawn through, but I don't know if there is a way for him to get that to happen.
Yeah, I mean, there's no on map right now, and he probably checked all those boxes for them. So he's gonna have to either hope that he kills someone with the beacon on them, or get the shots off on someone.
I think it's a solo too. That's probably not a full team. So
Without the respawn beacon, which is interesting.
Getting a lot of damage put onto him, just trying to stay alive. Ottawa gonna fall now out in 7th place. Viz is somehow staying alive. Going for the respawn. Is he gonna get this one off? And no, he won't. Just barely missing out on it. Trying to play his life as best as possible. That's 2 players. You're gonna go down. USM finally gonna be eliminated, but a valiant effort there from Viz. Also finding a lot of kills, so giving his team some KP and even getting his team some better placement points out in 6th.
Still alive. All at red evo right now, and this is a team we saw in Octane Weekly 3 that fight against USM, I mean, right down to the wire on that last game. Almost won. But we'll see. It looks like they're looking to take this win. B7 Scout, R99 for unhit lobster.
Sitting with Tamu Maroon, one of the biggest teams to look out for in this lobby today. RIT Black gonna fall, CSUF Orange gonna fall. Now it's all chaos going abound, and that will make it a 3v3, I'm assuming. KSU Black will fall. It is now down to 2 squads remaining. It is a 3v3. I'm just now remembering that there's a counter that tells you how many players are left alive. And look at how spread out all of these players are. This is going to be a battle, and it's just going to be a hop. They're going to hop straight into it. We'll see if Tamu can hold off the push, but it's looking like the shots are a bit shaky. Pear is getting caught in between the rocks. Unhip Lobster trying to stay alive. Now everyone getting involved. It's going to be 2 kills for Tamu Maroon. Now I think it's a 2v1 for the side of Tamu. And actually, no, it's a 2v2, and Lobster is in a very weird spot. Make that a 1v2 for Tamu. Swifty, last player left alive, just trying to do his best to give this game to Tamu, but second place is pretty solid as it is.
I genuinely don't think it's gonna happen. One of the players had a golden shield.
There's so much going on here, and Swifty also has to deal with the storm just constantly pushing them back. They will fall. ISU are your champions for game 2.
I mean, played down to the wire right there. We all thought Tamu Maroon had it, just could not connect their shots on that R99 to end up getting kills. But I mean, beautiful plays by ISU.
Yeah, great work out of them. That was another team that was pointed out to me by Theo earlier to be looking out for. Tamu Maroon, of course, another really solid squad, but I believe it was just Tamu Maroon really not able to hold off that push from ISU, and maybe we're not expecting it as quickly as it happened. That was very, very fast from ISU. They just dove straight into that fight, knew they had a 3v2, had an advantage, and took advantage of it. But both teams having 12 kills there. Southern Miss only with 5, although that is going to be, I believe, the 3rd most in the lobby behind CSUF and, of course, the 2 teams that got first, second, ISU, Tamu Maroon. 12 apiece there. So not a lot of kill distribution in this lobby.
Now it's interesting to say Viz had literally every single one of USM's kills. He was kill leader with 5 right before they ended up dying, which, I mean, good job on Viz. I really don't know how they could have played that any better. It was just an awkward rotation in the middle of 2 teams that ended up taking them out. Almost got that respawn off on that beacon, but all in all, beautiful plays by every team. Southern Miss ended up getting a higher placement, not able to capitalize on anything, and sits at 6th.
So now we are heading into the last game on Storm Point. As you can see in the top right corner, we are just hopping straight into it again. Now, my assumption would be that there's probably a small break after game 3, but it's all dependent on what the teams want. If the teams just want to run through it all, then why not let them? So we have our final one, though, that is on Storm Point today. We'll be heading to World's Edge after this. What would you like to see Southern Miss change up to get themselves into a better spot, maybe find themselves in that top 3, that top 4?
No, I mean, they played that early game beautifully. I really don't think there was anything that they could have done any better. However, it was that rotation, that first rotation that they hit on that Valkyrie from the high ground, and then they just put themselves right in the middle of 2 teams, and they did get more kills from that. However, they were put in an awkward position because it was just third party after third party on top of them. They should have waited a little bit longer, you know, and just tried to find anything else.
So something I noticed a lot when we were watching the weekly, and this is because it was obviously a lot different competition, USM just kind of ran it down a lot of the time, and they would just continue moving forward. And that's realistically not going to work as well in these lobbies. Not saying that that's what they're doing today, but it is something I've noticed. They haven't been quite fast-paced. They haven't been playing the edges of circle as often as what we typically have seen from them. So maybe something to at least look out for at the end of the day.
I mean, we'll see how they ended up playing it today. They didn't rotate spiders last time. They ended up going for the prowlers to get the 1 kill off of that guy, and then played it beautifully, taking down a whole squad that was behind them. So we'll see how they rotate. We'll see how they play. Should be pretty similar. They're going to have to change up some stuff. Obviously, the rotations are a little awkward just because they're put in weird positions where Storm really doesn't go their way. Not fault of their own. It's just how the game plays.
Absolutely. We'll have to figure out what loot USM grabs here as well. We'll see, though, them look to rotate. I'd imagine they're going to keep that similar rotate to what we saw last game and the game before. Pick everything up that they can here in the initial landing spot, then rotate on over to the coastline where they can take out the dragon, get that Evo on up, and then maybe we'll see them instead of, I don't really remember where they went last game, but maybe rotate towards the spiders if the circle is a bit more favorable towards it. And actually, if you're looking in that top right of your mini-map, they have circle.
And it seems as if Southern Miss has also
top left
changed
of your mini-map,
their
sorry.
comp a little bit too.
Oh,
Viv
they
is
have.
running Pathfinder.
Pathfinder, yes.
For the life of me. And then
Theo's
still
also
running
changed.
Bangalore. I do not know that character's name.
I know it's the one with the rift, if I remember correctly.
Yes, the one.
But
He
I cannot remember their name.
brings
for
up
the
the
life
Got
of
an
me.
walls.
upgrade.
Yeah. Like the black goo from the ground.
Yeah, and maybe that's also, since they've been getting third-partied so much, maybe that was a big part in that decision to change up the comp. Because we've seen previously how effective their composition has worked for them, and today it just hasn't quite been the case, especially when they're getting third-partied as often as USM has been. They've been in, like, the second they find a fight, it ends up being 2 or 3 straight, and that just is not giving you a lot of space to work with, to regen, to heal after every single individual battle. And now you're going to see the utility change on up for USM. Theo going to be able to toss those walls up and maybe give themselves a little bit more space to either rotate or heal if necessary.
Now, as you said, those third parties have really been bad, and I know that that character has the ability to raise walls to give them that extra set of cover so that they're not being attacked by other teams that just blatantly just see them fighting. So you get that extra set of cover, and Viz switched off of the Valkyrie, ended up going Pathfinder. Now, I don't know specifically why
Care package
that
over there.
he changed to
Care package over
Pathfinder,
there.
but I'm pretty sure it was due to that rotation because, as you said, they're getting third party, and every time they would make that rotation with the Valkyrie, it would end up putting them in a bad position. So it'd be interesting to see how they play because this is a new comp that we're seeing. I mean, they've always played Valkyrie Fuse Bangalore, so I'm interested to see how they manage to play this.
Looking at that Evo, you're going to see all 3 players onto the blue, likely getting somewhat close, for the other 2 at least, towards that purple shield. You'll see UAB, ESA fall, though. 19 squads remaining already. Someone has gotten taken down, or a full team has gotten taken down. Not what you want to see. But USM, of course, in a much better position. They finally get the circle luck that they've been probably dreaming of, to be honest. They've been running across the entire map multiple times. Today, this one, they haven't had to do that. Well, we'll see what it's like on World's Edge as well, but of course that's for a different time and a different place.
Now, I just, the character name is Catalyst.
Catalyst, yes. I couldn't remember that for the life of me. I never would have remembered that.
Yeah,
Thank you
no,
for
probably not.
looking that one up.
Of course, I have to know the names, but yeah, which makes sense because she brings up goo. She's a catalyst. It's in the name.
Also, I'm seeing on the bottom left, Theo does not have purple shield, and here he doesn't have purple shield, but like when the other players on his team look at him, you can see it's purple. So
I mean, you see he has 4.
yeah, so I think it's
Whoa.
just a bug on the game, on the observer side. He probably does have purple, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what that is, but something's wrong, and I don't know what.
Huh, that's interesting. Probably a catalyst bug.
It may be. As you're gonna see that Valkyrie popped, evac popped, as they're trying to rotate, but
Interesting.
actually just decided to go right back to where they were.
Yeah, interesting little rotation question mark that just happened there. They went to rotate out, and then ended up not rotating at all.
My thought was they probably saw another team where they originally wanted to go, and by that point they just didn't have enough time to go somewhere else, so they just decided, let's go right back to where we were. Only one team to worry about rather than 130.
Yeah, but unfortunately, the team that they didn't worry about is Southern Miss. So we'll see how they play this. Seems like Theo is just trying to keep them away from rotating, which he's doing really good at. They're just getting these shots and raising his Evo shield. They haven't been able to hit a single shot on Theo, which, despite what the screen says, Theo is on purple shield.
He has to be. I like, it just looks weird from our side seeing that it's blue but technically purple. I don't know. A lot of hoopla going on right now.
Yeah, but whenever you switch, if you switched over to Thalos or spectating Viz, Theo has purple shield whenever you look at him. Yeah, see, he has purple shield. It's purple. It's just a little bugged on the screen to be blue. A little bit of a Southern Miss esports production weirdness happening right now. Now it's interesting to see. I'm pretty sure Viz was being shot from that building, which we see. There's, I can't remember the character's name, but the electric gates.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know the character. I don't know the legends well enough to say that, but I do like to call it the posts go up as UCF is gonna fall there now. Just 18 squads left. I say just 18 as if there's not just 20 teams that start in every lobby.
Yeah, but I'm interested to see how Southern Miss play it. I'm pretty sure they have their eyes on like at least three other teams.
I'm pretty sure it's 3 or 4 other squads. Very smart though from Southern Miss. Of course, they have no reason to rotate. There's no need. They're in circle. They're very well in circle, and there's a chance it even just continues to go their way, which is what's going to give them a good placement. That's essentially a big part of getting a high placement. Outside of just being very good at the game, you have to get a little bit of luck on your side, and that's what we're seeing right now for USM. Not only do they have the luck on their side, they, of course, have the gun skill to make things happen.
And USM keeping that team away, sees the team rotating around with their Valk ult, but USM still trying to keep that team across that bridge, unable to rotate. Just trying to manage to pick off these kills, get their Evo shield up, which is working out really well for them. They really haven't seen any hits come on them yet.
And that's going to be San Diego State taking out TMU Bold, team that's been struggling, I think, today, if I'm remembering their numbers correctly. So going to be worthwhile to keep checking in on that for the rest of the matches that we have here in store. That we'll have to see them in game 4 after we're done here. Now down to 17 squads remaining.
Yeah, it looked like we saw a little bit of a respawn there from some team, which Southern Miss isn't really worried about that much. They just know that that team may or may not be down a little bit. But
let's take a look at the map while we're here. Since USM isn't really doing a whole lot, let's see everyone on the map where we're looking. USM kind of in the middle of a few teams, but at the same time not. There's going to be someone, though, rotating on to that team underneath of them. So we're going to see a big fight go on there. Southern Miss may be able to clean up some of that as well if they recognize what's happening. Theo going to be the main one to get the information of what's going down there. Thalos and Viz also going to be watching over a few separate teams on their own. So everyone in USM getting a ton of information, but really not able to do much about it.
yeah, I mean, it seems as if they're trying to rotate over and taking advantage of that. Looks to be a squad wipe right there from, I don't know the team name, but yeah, it's a squad wipe because that team is off of the map. Otter ended up killing them. There's another team rotating out right to the left of Southern Miss, trying to rotate. I think they realize that they're in a bit of a tough position right now. Also, it's a good thing here. Southern Miss keeps taking these people's shields down, and they're probably going to run out of resources real soon.
they're doing just enough to keep everyone at bay. And that's realistically what's keeping them in it right now. RIT Black gonna fall there. And now I believe Theo has spotted the team that's over by the rock that just rotated in. So they're gonna have to welcome their new neighbors with some firepower. Shots though getting put down onto Thalos. Will escape that for the time being. A minute 28 for the next circle to close through. And look at that. USM getting the perfect spawns for Circle. Finally, the Circle will go their way. It feels like we've never seen it go this well for them.
Not at all. And the boys are probably going to have to get closer together because they're a little bit spread apart, obviously, trying to cover all angles at all times. But whenever these teams rotate in together, that's just not something you want to see yourself doing. It seems as if we have a little bit of a disconnect there from Viz, which I'm pretty sure is what that bar means.
Oh, yeah, I do. I see on the player tag. It is a DC from Viz. Unfortunately, not much you can really do about that. We'll see if he's able to get back into the game or not. Thalos and Theo gonna have to hold off for the time being while Viz hopefully gets back into the game.
This would be a very unfortunate thing to happen to Southern Miss. Gets the perfect circle rotation.
The one time.
And Viz just disconnects right when it's happening.
I will say though, Theo moving on to the Catalyst has made this hold a lot easier for Southern Miss. They can post up in this building if they really need to, and the Catalyst abilities can keep those doors shut, and also if the team does manage to break on in, will slow them down if I remember the abilities correctly. Thalos gets it down. I don't know why. I thought we were on Thalos for a second. I do see Viz has come back as well. That red bar is off as Thalos will get the elim onto Jorts. So that's going to be a kill for Southern Miss. They will finally get something. And I thought Viz was back, but maybe not.
I mean, the DC bar did go away. We will see. He's probably loading into the match right now.
Probably.
What's happening. But he will be back pretty soon. And as you see, that door is broken. Catalyst, I'm pretty sure, can make her own doors, but they cannot be opened. So Southern Miss would just be trapped in that building. Theo, able to see this game, trying to get as often he can, manages to get one. Push that door up, as I said a little bit ago. Just trying to hunker down while Viz gets back. Southern Miss trying to find anything they can.
And USM is being very patient here, doing a lot of good work, knowing they don't need to get overzealous. I think Viz is still struggling to stay in the lobby. CSUDH, though, will get taken down. We still have a lot of teams left in this game. There's still 14, and the Circle, again, favoring USM. They are basically on the edge of it, so the following Circle will probably not be as nice to them. A compound bow. We'll see if Southern Miss decides to pick that up. Thalos going to be at max evo. And now Southern Miss can just kind of hang out here and not only wait for their teammate to get back, but it'll be Theo picking up the bow. Viz still hanging out. St. Clair gets eliminated. And we should be seeing a lot more action go down here in the next couple of seconds as Viz has once again disconnected.
Wow, unfortunate there from Viz, but Theo just ended up picking up that compound bow. Let's see how much damage he can do with that thing, because I'm pretty sure it does have a shotgun mode and kind of like a sniper mode, which is really good for close range. Obviously, you cannot pick up ammo for it. There are 60 rounds loaded into that thing, and that is all that you can hit. So if you are taking shots, you have to make these shots count, which it looks like Theo is definitely making shots count as he downs, or he didn't down anybody. I think Pear got that down. But
yeah, that one did get stolen away from him. I actually thought he got the down too. Unfortunately, no. But just gonna continue firing a few warning shots, make sure everyone knows that he's not only here but has the compound bow, and now the Mozambiques have been brought out to go with it. Won't get any damage down range. As Theo just constantly watching over Viz, making sure Viz is staying alive in this situation.
looks like Viz is back in it, as I'm pretty sure I just saw him moving.
Let's this place there.
Yes.
Finally, Viz has made it back. as now USM at full force. They can start making plays. They do have to move a tiny bit here, but it's not a lot. They are going to start getting cornered, though. Biz is pretty weak here. He has to grapple away. Does he get into the building? He does. That'll allow him to pop a bat, maybe even pop a med kit if he has one. I don't really know what the utility is on the side of Southern Miss, and it will be a med kit pop. Tamu Maroon going down. That's a big elim for the entire lobby. Now just 12 squads left as GCU goes down. Make that 11.
Just 12 squads left. That is a ton for how the is right now. And it seems as if teams are going down left and right. Viz, Bayless getting a ton of damage off of those teams, but they have teams everywhere. And you're seeing a very similar Newcastle Bangalore everywhere. As you can see, there's a Newcastle to their right, there's a Newcastle to their left. Very hard to break. Almost trying to break that barrier down. Ends up getting one, but I'm pretty sure that team rotated out.
I did see also in the kill feed, there is another player that has a bow. We'll see if that ends up playing a role here late into the game. Theo trying to get some shots, hits one of them, but that will be the only one that connects. Slowly running out of ammo too, only 23 left, and it's just gonna continue raining it down onto that squad all the way in the back of the circle. You can see it's pretty much just that building and mainly water around it that this final circle will go down to.
Theo and Viz really actually have not gotten that 4th level of shield yet, like Bayless has. They're gonna have 208 evo left. Theo, they're gonna end up rushing this team.
And we'll see if they're able to get the damage down range, but look at how weak Theo has gotten. Lost all of his shield now, just gonna throw the catalyst wall straight on that doorway. As KSU Gold now falling down, Theo's trying to stay alive, and now there's 3 players in the smoke, and it is just chaos right now in this building, but it'll be an elim for USM, although 1 player will go down, should be 2 unless Theos can stay alive, and it looks like he has for the time being. Rez has not come down. Theo gets fully limbed. Bat pop for Thalos, so he'll at least be able to stay up at this current moment in time. But there's just 6 squads left, and look at how small that circle is.
I mean, USM in a beautiful position right here. They're gonna have to third party some team to end up getting kills off. Thalos has not popped a medkit, and he's less than half the way down. He ends up popping that medkit right there, as I say. And Viz, I don't know.
Jump down on, doing a great job of staying alive, but his teammate has been downed, and USM eliminated. Thalos will fall there as they will go out in, I believe that was 6th place once again. USM having a bit of a tough day on Storm Point. Love to see if they can improve on World's Edge, but at the same time, 6th place isn't terrible for these lobbies.
World's Edge or Stone Point hasn't been that good of a map for Southern Miss. They played really well. Third party, man. All of them. And then Viz had that unfortunate DC for, it was gotta be about
A decent
3
bit.
minutes. Yeah.
And that's realistically where a majority of the Evo would have been gathered, considering how much damage is being done to other teams. We're now on board with, I can't see the HUD, so unfortunately I'm not sure who this is, but it will be dual Mozam beats for that player, as I think this is just a solo. There are still 11 players left alive at the moment. Shots going down range, not fully going to get it down. It is a duo. I do see that player, OUK. Oh, I don't know if it's, I don't know. You see one of the berries go placed down, but look at how much health they are losing in this fight. Teammate is all the way on the opposite side, gets downed, and now our game is dying, and the game has crashed. So I don't know if that's just our end or if that's the end of the entire lobby. Hopefully that was just on our side, but we'll look to get back into the game as quickly as possible, as it looks like it was just on our side. and I do see a bunch of other players running around. So it looks like it was on our side, but the game has finished, and it will be a team. We still can't see the overlay, so I'm sorry. I don't know who this is. We'll get a look at it after. We'll take a look at the match after report and see what all of the placements were. I think we missed what, top 3, top 4 probably. So we'll have to take a look there. I do recognize the player names. I just, off the top of my head, don't recognize the players on that team.
No, not at all.
As it will be UFC taking first, 23 kills to pair. USM also placing 6th there. UFC may have just thrown themselves in the first place on the day all the way with that singular win.
Oh my gosh, 23 kills?
Wow.
That is crazy. What do you even say to that?
I mean, that's nearly half the lobby.
Man,
Yeah, that is
literally half the lobby.
pretty. Yeah, that's basically half the lobby right there. It's not quite, but it's very, very close to that. So great work out of UFC to not only win the game, but take everyone with them into that victory. Another team to point out there is ISU, sitting with 8 kills, got 5th place, and Ottawa taking 2nd with 6. USM probably in the middle of the pack right now. I don't know if they do live stats for the days, so unfortunately I can't really tell you what it's looking like overall, but I would imagine UFC is very near first place after that.
Yep. I mean, beautiful plays out of UFC. I mean, I didn't even really see them at all.
No.
They must have been the team that took down Southern Miss right there.
And USM not really getting a major advantage despite having the circle. I mean, the circle was on top of them almost the entire game, and they get basically the same placement that they've been getting.
Which obviously they probably could have had that if Viz didn't have that unfortunate disconnect.
Yeah, that's also tough to have as well. I mean, I don't know how much it would have affected the team, but at the same time, you have to just think about it. It's something that's in the back of your mind, you know, whatever, that it could have happened. But we have switched on over to World's Edge, and we may just start this one right away.
Now, let's see how Southern Miss ends up changing their play strategy a little bit here, because obviously they played with a different comp this game, which it seemed to go a little bit better for them. Obviously not able to pick up that many kills, but they really didn't need to rotate to get those kills. They just stood in one place, which worked out. Unfortunate Viz disconnect, but we'll see how they end up playing World's Edge differently this time.
Yeah, and of course, not only a new map, but we'll have to see where the new drop location is for Southern Miss. If I remember correctly, they're landing in the top right side of the map in the weekly that we got to see. But of course, it's I think there's a draft, or there's stuff that goes on that I don't really know off the top of my head. I didn't really get a ton of information based on it either. I'm not in the right sections of the server to find all this information out. So we'll have to see for our own when we get into the game, but they may be taking a little bit of a break between these maps, and that makes sense. Typically when you switch the maps, you'll have that bit of a break. So we may just toss it on over for a little bit until we are ready to hop into game number 4.
Yep.
Oh, never mind. We are starting game 4. The second I said that, I can like see the chat. If you see us looking over there, there's a screen where we can see like the game itself. And as I was saying, we may go to a little break. I see starting game 4 posted in the chat by the admin. So we're going right into it once again.
Yeah, I mean, which works out for us because it is incredibly late.
Yeah, and I'm also gonna apologize in advance to the cleaning people. They came in. If you heard Taco talking for a super long time, it was because I had to step away and like talk with them. I am so sorry to all of them for keeping you here longer than you need to be. We are single-handedly holding up the building closing pretty much. So major apologies for that. But thank you at the same time for letting us stay this long, because we love Apex. It's like Pac-12 after dark, but without the Pac-12. And we even got some Pac-12 teams in here. Well, former, because you know that conference only has 2 teams now. So sad.
Yeah, I mean, I really haven't seen a lot of UU Red. We saw them in that first game, I mean, absolutely kill. And then taken out early in the second game. I didn't see them on the thing in the third game. They started out really strong.
I didn't even look for them in the match stats after game 3, to be honest. I just didn't. I didn't even think to look for them. So we'll have to see where they end up going, as you see UU Red right here, actually, for just a quick second. But of course, that's not what we're interested in right now. They're an end game team. We'll see them in the end game. We're worried about Southern Miss and where they're going, as we have to swap through a lot of teams. There they are. USM, Thalos, Viz, Theo. Let's get on board with the squad and see what they're up to here in the early game. It'll be Lava Siphon as their drop location. They are going to be at the basically middle of the map, so they're going to probably get circle almost every single time.
Yeah, I mean, not contested by any teams, really. They have
I think that's
KSU.
the crazier part, that they're not contested here.
I know. They have KSU to their top left. I'm pretty sure Tam and Maroon I saw at Landslide. I'm pretty sure that's Tam and Maroon. There, yeah. Tam and Maroon, a little bit above them. U of A is actually right underneath them. That'd be an interesting team to take out early on.
Definitely would. Of course, though, we're probably going to see very minor pushes to start this game. That's just usually how it works. Viz will be the one we sit on board with for the time. See if there's really anything that goes down like shot wise, but I don't really think we're gonna see much for at least the first circle. It's just how it goes. Maybe in the top side of the map, I think I saw a lot of teams bunched up there, so could be some early elims up on that side. But as for the middle of the map, there's not gonna be a ton going on. You'll see Thalos pushed up into that green circle there, and the rest of the squad will of course just look to catch up to him.
This Viz dropped his alternator for that Nemesis, I'm pretty sure, which an alternator is basically a pistol. You only pick that thing up if you really need a gun. Thalos with an R301 Mozambique combo, and it seems they're running the same comp they did last game. Catalyst, Pathfinder, and
Always
Bangalore.
better than iron sights.
Theo also running a Nemesis, but with the EVA 8 auto shotgun. Very interesting gun choices early on, which obviously you're not going to get the guns you want this early in the game. You're going to have to loot around a little more. But I don't know of any Spider or Prowler spots on World's Edge. And I don't think Southern Miss is going to be looking to rotate that way anyway.
Yeah, and even if there were, especially with where they've landed, they're probably not going to look to rotate, at least to any location that could have those. We are seeing a fight go down. Pander has downed, or actually elimed Group D. That's my guess is going to be that's where the top side of the map is. I do know there were a few teams all the way up there that are going to have to battle it out, because they all need to rotate down to the middle side of the map, and with that ring slowly but surely making its way towards the center of the map, they're going to have to battle it out and find out who will come out into the middle circle, meet with the rest of these teams here, as Southern Miss finally gets two sight lines on a team, gets that player very weak. Nade may just do the trick. We'll see if that has gone far enough to do the damage. Zip now going to be called for Viz, and Viz just gonna hop straight through, has the weaponry to make the job, get the job done, only gets one, traded out, but Thalos is there to go for it. Should be able to get the revive here onto Viz, as Thalos gets a second down. That's gonna be San Diego State. I believe the last player up for San Diego State is gonna be Mang. Not sure where they are at. And speaking of, Mank is the player that two of these Southern Miss players teamed up with in weekly number 2, where they won. So I just find that a very interesting and somehow fitting factoid.
I mean, I didn't know that. I knew they played with Mank. I didn't know Mank was playing in this. So interesting to see Southern Miss take out that squad there. Mank the only one left. He's probably going to try and pick up the players' respawn banners, but Southern Miss doesn't really care about that right now. As you can see, we had the Pathfinder ultimate popped right there, the little zip line, trying to rotate anywhere they can, pick up these Evo harvesters and try and get, I can't remember what gun that is.
Seen the drop there. It has some golden weaponry, so very good stuff for
Let's check out
USM to
this area.
have, although it is just the P2020s.
Upgrades locked and loaded.
Still going to be
Leveled
useful.
up.
I mean,
Better lock down
when
and
it has that
upgrade.
kind of rarity, everything is useful.
And it
Evo
seems as
harvester
if
spotted.
I don't know
Ready.
what is with this
Let's go
Catalyst
over there.
and Theo playing, but he is on Evo Shield 3, but it's showing
Oh.
him on Evo Shield 2.
Oh, yeah, maybe you may be right there. It might just be a Catalyst thing that it's kind of busted or something. It's so weird, though. It just feels very out of place for this game.
It seems as if, yeah, maybe it is a Catalyst thing because it says he's back on 3 now. Getting shot at. 2 teams right on top of Southern Miss, actually. 1 to their right and 1 to their left. Right in the middle. I'm pretty sure they're in the middle of the Prowler's Nest right now. Because
I leveled
there's
up.
a Prowler's Nest right
Time
on
to
the
get
map.
an
Those
upgrade.
little glowing
Picked
red
an upgrade, friends.
things. But Southern Miss is gonna try and pick off some damage on these teams, get their Evo shields up. Thalos and Viz both at purple. The 181 Evo away from purple. Looks like Southern Miss is gonna try and be pushing this team. They're looking to get kills, get their Evo shield up, pick off as many teams as they can to get these points.
And you can see they're at the very edge of this circle, fitting for it being World's Edge, by the way, as we'll have to await a proper fight. And that seems to be the case
I think we should move that
fairly
way.
often with Southern Miss, especially in the early/mid game, when they are just kind of holding out, looking to get those placement points. But they will find a team on top of that, essentially skyscraper. They are definitely going to have to find a different way around if they want to make this fight work in their favor. Still only 1 squad eliminated. I believe it was ISU Farmers. A fair bit of time back at this point. Still 57 players up on the map
Yeah, I mean, Mank still alive from
somewhere.
yeah, somewhere. Probably already picked up his team's respawn banners and respawned them. But who knows?
Well, based on there being 57 players left and a team, only 1 team fully limbed, my guess would be that he did get that off, but you never know.
Yeah, what a grapple, by the way, there from Viz. Did not expect that. That was beautiful. Right up to that scanner. Scanning for enemies, trying to find where people are, pick off some kills, judge where people's rotation is.
It looks like only 1 team gonna get picked up on that surge, so information gained for Southern Miss. Finally, another team is gonna go down. That will be RIT Black falling in 19th place. And now USM have some sight lines onto a team. That's gonna be Viz and Thalos taking the first challenges of the fight. They'll both lose a good bit of shield, and same to that player they were targeting. They'll back away and stay away from this fight. Now gonna go to that evac balloon, and we'll see where they decide to rotate. Maybe they're gonna look to get behind that squad, and seeing that they are very, very far away from circle, that's likely gonna be the call.
And now, interesting thing to note about that RIT Black elimination, they were defeated by U of A. So that team is doing really well so far. USM's gonna have to pick off some of these better teams really soon. Now, obviously, we don't know the point system or the points score right now and what place USM is. They have to be a little bit, probably like 6th, 7th place. But the boys are playing really well right now. Nice little rotation back to where they were before. They're just gonna try and hunker down, find some people to get their Evo shields up.
Speaking of the points, thank you very much for our lovely people in chat for linking this to me and pinging me so I could see it. I do have the standings now. It'll be UFC currently sitting in 1st place. They are at 34 points, ISU 29. So ISU falling that early is actually huge for the rest of the lobby. KSU in 3rd, and actually I messed up the points, but it is 48-48 for both UFC and ISU. So worth noting, as Viz going to take some damage. We'll get back to the points a little bit later, as it may be a team fight here for USM. They will just look to, I assume, rotate here because they're not fully in circle. May just try to get across one of these pathways, and they're going to use the zip line to do just that. Southern Miss all the way in 7th. They are at 21 points, so they are a decent bit behind right now in the standings for today. But that will only do a little bit of damage to their overall, depending on how today finishes out. Another player now for USM to chase down. You're going to see Viz try to do as much movement tech as possible to get downfield, but it will have to just be waiting game for now. UFC will fall, so that's another huge elim. The top 2 teams going out very early in this game. Now that's going to open up the point scoring for everyone else in this lobby.
I mean, what a good momentum boost for all these teams right now. UFC and I think that was ISU going down really early. It lets these teams catch up in points because they really, UFC and ISU aren't going to gain much from, that was 19th and 18th finishes. So we'll see how it works. Baylor's in any damage that he can. Theo and Viz pushing up. What beautiful damage right there from Thalos. And triple headshots. 101 Evo until red. Viz still a ways away from that finish. But I mean, if they take out this team, it's going to put them in a really good position. Just looking for this team, ends up getting a couple hits off. Thalos getting that 4th level Evo shield. They're going to back off here, not in a very good position, getting shot in the back by another team. Thalos still trying to push this team. Seems as if Viz is going for the fight on the right side. That team is pushing back, knowing that they're kind of in a bad position. Look at that movement tech from Viz.
He has just been flying around the map since switching to Pathfinder, and you're seeing it almost pay dividends there. Not able to get the down, just has to wait for the rest of the squad and see if they can make something happen here to at least get into circle. Maybe not get a set of elims just yet. CSUF Orange going down, TTU going down. Now the killing game is going abound for everyone involved as 15 are on the board currently. And look at that angle from Thalos. Won't get the down. That's going to be TMU Bolt eliminated, though, by San Diego State. It looks like they do have the rest of their members. That one from what feels like ancient history at this point.
Yes, and it's like check out that which is really good. SDS almost down is getting down low. See if they can pick up those kills. Southern Miss also in a little bit of a bout with other teams. Viz missing that little grapple, but ends up still getting on top of this rock. Looking for other teams, trying to tell his team where to rotate to, thinking of what the best decision here is, because they're in a little bit of a tough spot on the edge of Storm. This team on their shooting them down.
There's still 38 players left right now. Look at how small the circle is. It is minuscule for the amount of players that are still on the map. Now you're going to see a smoke go out. This is going to probably be the push from USM. CSUDH are gone in 13th. Now with just 12 remaining, USM have to find a way to rotate out of this. They are not in a great spot. They at least have cover, but the circle is going to start doing a lot of damage to them if they don't move soon. And you're also going to see ultimates come out. Sorry, not ultimates, just abilities in general come out. Try to slow them down, try to do some extra damage. Shots are now connecting. UU Red falls. Another big squad to lose that early on as they go out in 12th place. A lot of the top teams not able to capitalize on their previous games. St. Clair, though, one of the teams that's at the bottom of the standings, managing to get some damage down. Theo gets it down as well. Thalos will get an elim. That'll be UHE falling in 11th. Now we're into the top 10.
Beautiful elims there from USM. They're looking to take this game, to push them forward. I think that's 3 of the top 3 teams already down circle in the game. goes there for Theo. This also gets him on Chubb.
That is St. Clair, who has been struggling today. They are all the way at the bottom of the standings with just a singular point to their name. That's not great. And now Thalis is going to clean them up. That'll be St. Clair eliminated, but finally they've gotten points. They got a lot of kills in this game too, from what I remember. That are just a lot of downs. Regardless, it'll be KSU getting another set of elims. That's going to be TU Cherry out of the game. The P2020's doing a lot of damage. Look at the golds go. Thalis finds 2. 1 player left from that squad. That's UCF in front of him. But now 2 players from USM are down. Viz is getting found out. And that will be USM falling in 7th place. Again, 6th, 7th for USM.
Man, I mean, they played it beautifully. They got stuck in the third part. So many kills came off of them right there. They should be in a good position. Maroon lost pair. Lobster almost going down to 1 HP. Popping out the shield, so Swifty almost down. Tamu Maroon playing this high ground the best they can, trying to get those kills off there. Lobster a bit of a tough spot, looking for their last player to take down. Pair still alive, and it seems as if KSU is right on top of those 2 teams. They're gonna try and take out Tamu Maroon right there.
You see 1 player has gone down, but they are getting revived. Lobster just barely hanging on health-wise, has full shield. Zwifty also a bit low on health, but we'll be popping the med kit to clean all of that on up. And we are heading into our last circle with just 5 squads remaining. And the Evo slowly being chipped away at 2 for Lobster and Pair, who are still at blue.
Challenge some teams. They're very low HP. Doesn't seem like they have a lot of help to work with here. So they're gonna have to really take into account the fact that they're low. They have to take some hits off of teams, get that Evo shield up.
Medkit here.
That they're carrying out right now. Just smart plays from the team. They're gonna beat the position. They have circle realistically. Just gotta make sure to try and just pick off some hits.
Yeah, they're in a great position here, although they may need to rotate relatively early depending on where these other squads are at. You can see the circle is basically right to their back, and with just 27 seconds now, as there's actually a team under them inside the building. That's interesting to see.
I mean, that's what you gotta do.
As that will be GCU, who is currently in 10th place in here. You can see them just hanging out. They're gonna obviously have to move pretty much at the same time as Tamu Maroon, who is above them. But you're gonna see UCF getting into the fight. That's gonna be 2 KSU players down. This the third is getting dove upon. Should be KSU gone relatively soon. And as I'm saying it, there they go. Last 4 now left remaining. Rez could come in for UCF if they can get these last 2 players down. Sloth in a solid spot, but ends up getting flanked, and he's gonna lose his life because of it. Now just 1 player left for UCF. That's gonna be UR. Will he be able to stay alive here? KSU doing a phenomenal job in this game. This may put them into first place. They are in a great spot. They're sitting in 3rd, just ahead of Tamu Maroon. 4 squads still left, but how long is UCF is going to be able to hold on?
You are playing his life so well. Trying to use the new shield to let him heal. Ends up getting chipped off. So close to that. It seems as though Tamu Maroon is in a very good spot. Takes out his goal and is trying to finish off his team. Tamu Maroon takes the final kill, ends up taking this game.
And that's a huge win for Tamu Maroon. They were in 4th place, and that may just propel them to the very top. They were behind by about 22 points, so Actually, maybe not, depending on how many kills they had, though they did have an insane amount of kills. So there's a chance that they have just put themselves into first place, especially with first and second having the same score, and also basically getting dead last and second to dead last in that game with maybe no kills.
Now let us see if we will ever load into this match. And it seems Tamu Maroon with 6 kills.
So yeah, that'll probably only put them into third above KSU Black, which KSU Black I think finished pretty low in this one too.
Number 5
Actually, no, they did not.
with 9.
So yeah, they will still be above KSU Black probably, but it won't be by a ton. UFC though and ISU both getting basically no kills. UFC had 1. They only placed 18th though, and ISU dead last, no kills. So that is a very tough one. That's going to allow the rest of the field to catch on up. USM sitting in 7th in the overall standings, at least before the update for this game. And in this one, they also happened to finish 7th with 6 kills. So still not a ton to go off of. We will now be heading into match number 5, or second to last of the day. We are getting very close to the end of match day 2, and we'll have to see how the overall standings are affected by what's going down here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited to see what that early game defeat on ISU and U of C does to the standings, because that just throws it off. It allows these teams that were 3rd and 4th to push themselves above. So I'm excited to hear what the standings are now.
Well, to update you on that, it will be UFC staying in first, and they have actually separated themselves from ISU because they got that singular kill and ISU did not. So first place is now going to be UFC with 49 points. Second is going to be ISU Farmers with 48. Tamu Maroon has moved all the way up to third with 44, KSU Black at 42, and USM has taken themselves from 7th place to 5th. They are all the way, though, at 30. They're going to need to find a victory here somewhere, or at least a top 3 finish if they want to find themselves in that top 3, in that top 4.
Yeah, I mean, they're about 21, 25 kills down from the top 4, so they're going to have to end up making a little bit more aggressive plays and smart plays, because they're always caught in positions where they're getting third-partied by these teams and they're getting pushed back, and it's just really unfortunate. But they're making beautiful plays. Their rotations are extremely well, especially after the comp change from the first 2 matches. I mean, they're just playing beautifully.
It's been a decent day for USM, but we do know where their standing is overall, so certainly would like to see some improvement in the way that they are rotating specifically. But we are now into our character selection, which I'd imagine they're not going to change up at this point in time with just 2 matches remaining. They've already changed once. It likely won't be too much different now.
And that change really has worked out a little bit better for them. Still, obviously,
We need to stop speaking because they have changed.
they have
Viz is
changed
now
again.
playing, I believe that, I'm not going to even try to remember who that is. Theo has not changed. Theo will still be on the Catalyst, but the other 2 make changes. So a different composition once again for Southern Miss. They are just trying to find something that will work out for them. They are, of course, going to again land into the middle side of the map. I say middle side as if it's a side. The middle section of the map. So they might get Circle once again. If they can continue getting Circle to go their way, to get basically the lucky spawn of Circle, then they can very much continue to keep up their consistent performances and maybe even finally crack that top 3, that top 4.
Now, Thalis did switch out of, I'm pretty sure it was the Pathfinder,
Yeah.
and is now playing Horizon.
Horizon. I don't really even know this kit.
Horizon's abilities, their Q ability, which is their main ability, just puts up this kind of, how do I say this? It pushes them up into the air and allows
Okay.
them to gain quick high ground, as you can see here.
Gotcha. I see what you mean. Yeah, I don't really know what that would be called, but I know exactly what you mean when you
And then
word
their
it that way.
ultimate ability, they throw out this machine that literally works the same as a black hole
Attention.
and pulls
Evo
everything into
harvesters
them.
are
Doesn't
online.
deal any damage. It just pulls teams into them, which might work out for them. I haven't seen Horizon played by any team at all. So we'll see how Thalos ends up playing Horizon. But Theo and Viz playing the same Catalyst and Bangalore combo. Theo only having a platinum line right now.
Got a new upgrade.
Has yet to
Can't
pick
wait
up
to
a
unleash it.
secondary weapon,
Ascended to
which
a
is
new
interesting.
level.
But it
Upgrade
is
time.
like a little ability of Catalyst, I guess, that you see that little shield bubble right there. It's
Yeah.
a temporary extra shield,
Gotcha.
which
Good to
is
know.
interesting.
So my guess is that they still have the circle here from what I'm seeing, at least on the mini-map. And it looks like they do. They are, again, basically in the dead center of circle. I believe that's pretty much what this is what it was last game, interestingly enough. And USM will not really have to do much rotating. It'll mainly be those teams that you see at the top of your screen, the top left. And there's already a fight going on, too. So we may even see some elims come in pretty quickly. May even see a full team wipe if it gets that bad. RIT just on the edge of circle at the top near Monument and Fragment. You're going to see a couple other squads towards the Harvester. Now looking to maybe even rotate down to where Southern Miss is at. And look at that. That's actually both KSU teams sitting directly next to each other.
Yeah, that's insane. It looks like they're rotating interestingly away from each other, probably not wanting to attack each other right at this moment. Obviously, it's very early in the game.
Your package over here.
I'm pretty sure it was KSU Black rotating towards Southern Miss, which Southern Miss probably doesn't even know that they're there, just trying to rotate out and gain more loot. U of A rotating away from Southern Miss. Southern Miss
Reckon
ends
we
up
should head
taking
here.
this spot, just able to loot freely for them. So we'll see how it's playing. Theo running Flatline and Volt. Viz, let's see what he's using. Hemlock and Mozambique. Or R301. Viz running R301 and EVA 8, and Thalos running
Let's check out
Hemlock
that.
and Mozambique.
Now just, oh, actually I was going to say waiting, but Viz has gotten knocked. That is San Diego State. And we saw them get into engagement early last game. This time around, you're going to see something kind of similar, but going the other direction. Viz will get full elim'd, and Southern Miss down to 2 players, but it looks like they're going to at least get a trade. That's going to be Mank going down. I would assume Southern Miss may go for the elim if they can get to it, but that banner has been grabbed, and now USM actually just going to rotate out. They don't want to be a part of this fight despite it being a 2v2. There's no need to get aggressive there. Just try to play the placement points. You don't want to be that first team eliminated.
Yeah, I mean, and as you can see, there's a little crypto drone. Looks like the team is following them, trying to pick off Southern Miss as we see shots fly above their head. They're just going to try and rotate out to this respawn beacon. I don't know which one they're deciding to go to. Interesting. Theo popping that ultimate on the Catalyst.
Barrier.
To put up that wall to stop people from shooting them while they're ziplining across to try and get to that respawn
Close
beacon.
door here.
But an unfortunate little early knock there from Viz, completely throwing USM off of the path that they were on.
Yeah, and this also forces them to rotate out of the circle. Now, they're obviously going to get right back into it. It's not like they're that far away, but they had great positioning, and now they're going to have to essentially adjust for a completely different space of the map that they, I'd imagine, weren't anticipating at all.
Not at all, and it seems Jacob takes out OUK right there. A little bit of a knock. No teams down so far. 20 squads left, 59 players, which means one is eliminated. It should get very violent very quick, especially with the amount of players that we saw right there near Southern Miss.
My guess at the moment is that it's because this first circle is closing. You still have a lot of time to rotate back, and you're seeing Ottawa start to lose players. J-Hoop gonna get a second elim. I don't know if that's both players that are dead. I don't know if that's both of the Ottawa players or 2 of the 3 Ottawa players or not, but J-Hoop will go down, Twigs will fall. So it's gonna be a lot of trading going on for that scrap going on on that side of the map is, I think that was one of the players that is down that USM is spotting. So maybe they might just get right into this fight, get involved, find a third party if they can. Better, it's going to be a completely different side of things, as we're seeing a lot now more aggression going down. Thalos has an angle but can't get the kill. Just have to back away. He's starting to take damage though. Runs completely out of shield. Has to be careful though because he's lost some health, and also that circle now starting to close on out. UHE going to be the first team eliminated. You're going to see a new kill leader as well. J Hoop though taking down one of the Texas Tech players. Dash finding some kills too. Everyone's starting to get involved. Finally, we're seeing some team fight action across the board.
Yeah, I mean, Southern Miss unable to get any knocks down on that team, which would cause them to be able to push that team and end up getting that team kill. And as we saw, Southern Miss is really good. After they get that first knock, they run in there and wipe the rest of that team out very quickly, which is something they're incredibly good at. But we'll see how they manage to play this. 19 squads left, 53 players remaining, and Southern Miss just looking to rotate into circles. Ends up seeing those players. Viz got very low, very quick. Just trying to take shots on them.
Look at those connections for Thalos. It's almost every single bullet. Player not quite dead, but again, Thalos just ripping heads at the moment. Taking a lot of shield off of a few different players. I'm not sure what squad that is. I couldn't see the names, but regardless, USM holding their own. They also have Circle. This team is basically forced to push into them. That is going to be Group D and Co. We'll see. I'll take a look to see who that is. Unfortunately, I cannot remember all the names at once.
But it seems as if Thalos is in an unfortunate position with batting in the middle of the lava. I don't think he expected to be there. Ends up jumping back across because he was in an unfortunate spot. He did throw out his ult, trying to pull any players in the middle of it.
That is going to be Illinois State, or sorry, it's either Illinois State or Iowa State. I think it's Iowa State actually, but either way, it's ISU who was sitting in second place that they were fighting, but it looks like they've managed to escape using that Valkyrie ult, so they are going to take some damage. Going to lose a little bit of shield, but should stay alive. Nothing too crazy going on there. I did see KSU Black got eliminated. They are sitting in fourth, so early exit for them in game 5. We'll have to see how they perform in match number 6, the last one of the day, but that will be for a bit of a later time. Still 18 squads here in match 5, so a lot of action left to go. Second circle is closing, but there's still a minute on that timer.
Yeah, I mean, Southern Miss trying to weigh their options here. Like, who do they want to push up? As they saw a team on their right, it looks like they're going the same way now that ISU ended up going, as we see Viz fight with the team, breaking that Bangalore shield, not ending up getting the knock. We see that crypto drone up in the sky, broken by Theo, I'm pretty sure.
This place here.
Bang ult goes out from Viz. Trying to take another Bang ult goes out.
Viz just gonna dive straight onto this one. Look at how fast he's moving. Does get slowed down there, but regardless, has made up the space that may have been lost. Can't quite spot whoever is around. That'll be Thalos trying to be the tip of the spear, at least for right now. Southern Miss, though, still in circle. They don't have to move. So we're getting very close to them. They do at least spot this squad in front of them. You're gonna be tossing out a smoke for Theo. Now has to back away. Just needs to stay alive as the crates grab more loot.
Yeah, it looks as if Southern Miss is in a bit of an awkward position here, just trying to take this team out, unable to do enough damage to knock
Bins have been restocked.
SCC.
Again, falling. I feel like they always have such a rough day every time we stream. Like when we streamed the weekly, they were dying off spawn as Oh, I thought Viz lagged out again there for a second.
would've been
I saw the character freeze and I was like, oh no. As UU Red going down, that's another helpful spot for the rest of the field as these big names going out a little early. But USM in a solid spot, don't need to move, and we likely won't see them move for another about minute and a half, 2 minutes, unless if a team decides to jump down on them. As, well, that's exactly what the case is gonna be, but look at those shots. Theo almost getting a down. RIT Black eliminated in 16th place. What can USM do to this squad ahead of them? Just trying to keep all the angles watched. Thalis is going to be right there. Viz also on the other side. Thalis is going to need to pop a bat, though, to get the shield back to recharge. A lot of damage now going down. USM got to be careful here. They are very low on shield. Viz and Thalis need to start getting those regen on up. Thalis losing a lot of health, too. You can see the black hole getting tossed out there. Theo gonna get a down from it. Viz finds another. So USM should be in the spot, and that is CSUF Orange taking out USM, getting a full squad wipe.
Wow, USM played that beautifully. Saw that from Ryan. Third party by another team. Very low. Also, Taylor's very low on health. Trying to just save their lives. Thalis ends up going down. Ends up going down to, I don't know what team that is.
That is going to be TU Cherry, so that's Texas. I don't want to say it's Texas because I don't think it is, but either way, it's TU Cherry. They are currently in last place, so that elim there, that set of elims there is going to be very, very helpful for them to at least try to get back into this one, but with one game remaining, they are pretty far out of it at the time, and alongside of that, St. Clair also was at the bottom tied with them, so they'll at least be keeping themselves out of last place for now.
Yeah, a bit of a tough loss there from USM. I'm pretty sure that was a 14th place finish right there. Did get a squad away, but not very good. Obviously, third party yet again, but what are you gonna do? That's just how Apex works.
And there's a good amount of the top teams still left in this. I believe UFC is still in there, ISU, Tamu Maroon, KSU Black. Actually, KSU Black may have gotten taken out. One of the KSU teams, I think, end up falling in. Oh, well, I speak things into existence. There goes UFC. SDSU now eliminated. So, again, ISU might have a chance to steal first place for the day out of the hands of UFC. We'll have to take some pointers of where they will be after this game, though. You'll see Lobster going to take down one. Wrecked Emporium takes down another. Ottawa Braves eliminated. We are getting into the end stages here of match number 5. Still 10 remaining, but slowly running out of players left on the map.
Yeah, I mean, Harry, this game has been playing off, and we're seeing the same comps from multiple teams. We've seen a bunch of Newcastles, which has been interesting because USM, it seems as if it's a little bit hard for them to end up beating these Newcastle teams, and by the time they do end up getting those teams down, they're getting jumped on by a second team. Obviously, they're not prepared for it. But UFC Knights ends up trying to engage this team. They all only have level 2 Evo shield right now. Trying to find anything they can. Interesting. They see the crypto drone trying to shoot it down. Can't quite get it. Sees that Newcastle barrier up there.
USF is in a pretty interesting spot here. They have the high ground that they want. They're also basically in the dead center of circle. So they have a lot of space to work with too. Now some other squads going down, and UCF still finding kills to go with it. CSUDH gone. The Cardinal out of game number 5. Now just down to 9 squads remaining. UCF is going to start moving forward. We'll see if they can pick up even more kills. This is going to be very helpful for them. GCU Pookie's going down. Now UCF can start rotating to that middle area of the circle. Look at what they're doing, though. They're also holding up a team from rotating. That's going to be KSU, who's in a very strong spot. That is going to be the KSU Gold team, though, who's a little bit underneath of them in the standings. UCF sitting in 10th place at the moment. This is going to be a huge game for them. Texas Tech getting eliminated now. they are going to fall in 8th place, down to the top 7. Just 19 players remain.
Yeah, I mean, UCF playing this beautifully. Ended up getting the knock. Couldn't quite get the finish, but you don't want to jump right in there. Obviously, they had that area locked down. You would have gotten destroyed if you hit just one of those barriers. So they're playing it really smart. They're playing for placement, which is incredibly smart, especially in the position you're in. You're in a building. You can't get shot even through looking through these windows. They're going to play this really nicely. Nova ended up getting a knock. Gets it down. It's a little finish. Can they get another? Looks like this new castle is broken the shield. Can they get the finish? Back inside to try and heal. So does Sloth. So does UR.
And seeing that ISU is still in this game, 1, they could very much win it. 2, they are almost certainly going to take first place away unless if Tamu Maroon can make a play and get that first place out of the hands of ISU. But they have all 3 players left alive, and never mind, they have 1 player left alive. I gotta stop speaking. I am speaking the worst possible things into existence. ISU is gone. That will be UCF, I think, is the one who took them down. Now everyone falling. There goes KSU Gold. UAB out of the game. And maybe it'll be UCF boosting themselves up all the way from 10th place into the winner's circle position.
No, I'm pretty sure Taylor Maroon is still in here. 10 players left, 4 squads, which means we are missing 2 people.
One of them is going to be the Tamu player, Pear, who needs to be revived, but I don't know if there's going to be any way for that beacon for them to get to the beacon. I do see there's one in circle, but I don't think there's a way for them to really get there without end up falling themselves. But look at how slow everyone's playing this now. It's UCF just sitting on top of it. So certainly if Tamu decides to push that beacon, they have no shot of staying alive.
UCF taking some beautiful shots right there off of that team. Look at that. Hits right there from the triple take, 73-63, almost completely gets that Bangalore. They are playing that Watson shield right beautifully right there. Tamu Maroon trying to play their lives. Swiftly ends up getting it down. Takes that kill too. I'm pretty sure there's a team above them to the right. Should be interesting to see the way that they play this. They're in a bit of an uncomfortable position. 9 players left, still 4 teams. UCF is the team right above them to the right.
There's a solo, right? And there they are, right there. I mean, this is one person.
Gets it down. TU Cherry.
There was, I'm pretty sure there was like all 3 teams were shooting at that singular guy. That, I mean, great work for TU Cherry, who was sitting in dead last. Managed to at least get some placement points. I mean, you got 4th place. Great work out of, I believe that was Boo, who managed to stay alive for so long, but just not really a real chance of winning that game. As Swifty will now fall, Tamu Maroon starting to lose HP. Lobster gonna fall too. Tamu Maroon out in 3rd. It's gonna be a 3v3 bang out for the final fight, and it will be TMU Bold, not even giving, I believe that was ISU, a single chance to win that, and that will be game number 5 over to TMU Bold. They needed that one. They are all the way down in 12th place. That victory certainly gonna give them a lot of position.
Now that team that they did end up killing was in fact UCF, which is interesting. UCF got a ton of kills. I mean, taking out ISU, wild. We'll just have to see how the standings play. I don't exactly know how many kills ISU got. I assume it's going to be 5 or 6, but it should be interesting to see. And let's look. TMU Bold with 17 kills on top. UCF 6 kills, 2nd place. 3rd place, Tamu Maroon with 9. 4th place, TU Cherry with 3. And 5th place, KSU Gold with 4. And as we see, ISU actually only got 1 kill, which is insane. UU Red going down with 0. UFC got 7 kills in 13th place.
Wow. We are getting right into it too. I mean, it is the last game of the day, so I get it. But We have a new leader on the day. It is Tamu Maroon, sitting with 60 points. UFC still in second, but they are behind by 3. They have 42 kills, by the way. Tamu Maroon, though, is racking up the placement points. They only have 28 kills, and they are in first with 60. So let's talk about third as well. They are just outside of the side of UFC and Tamu Maroon at 52. That is ISU Farmers. TMU Bold moving from 12th to 4th place with that single game. They have 49 points. USM all the way back down to 7th from 4th. The USM going to need a massive game here. They're going to need to win and probably get about 20 kills just to get themselves into that top 3.
Man, if I know these guys, they can do it. They have it in them. They're just going to have to play it smart and aggressive, hitting their shots. And it seems as if Theo's going to be running Fuse with Thalis again running Horizon. Viz probably going to be Bangalore. Yes, as always. So interesting. They have changed up their comp every single match, trying to find something that works within these teams. And we'll see how they end up playing this. Bringing back in that Fuse should be interesting. It's open area, so that Fuse ultimate is going to do really well on this map. We'll just see how USM ends up playing.
Yeah, this is a huge game for them. I mean, they have, I think, 3 weeks of play yet after this week, but regardless, every point will matter in the stage. Of course, we are super early into the season. There's 3 stages. Every stage has 3 match days, and there's also playoffs for each stage, so like, it's not the end of the world if they don't show out right here, right now. But of course, to get yourself in a better position overall, you want to make sure you're getting yourself ahead early so you don't have to do as much work in the back end of things when you're getting to that late stage 2, stage 3, when it really becomes crunch time.
And USM, obviously, they know they have it in them. You know, 7th place isn't a bad finish at all. They're still top 45% of their group. So they're not in a bad place. They just have to know that they've got it. It's not the end of the world if you don't win this match. And even if they do end up pushing themselves into 5th or 4th place from this match, you're still in a great position through the season, as you said. But let's see, Theo is running an alternator and a Mastiff, probably trying to find that Havoc that he usually likes running. That, or he usually runs a Hemlock also, which he's really good at. Viz running Flatline EVA 8 right now, and Thalis, Mozambique, Hemlock, just like I said. You know, gotta know the boys, know the loadouts that they like running, which it's interesting to see. Everyone still is using those Mozambiques. So
I feel like I haven't seen them as often as in like almost every player is still carrying them, but it's not like being used as much of a primary weapon anymore, which I think was mainly the goal of the change, because a lot of players were just using the Mozambiques as a primary all the time, and now you're seeing a little bit more variety in the weapon usage, and that's I would imagine that's ideal. That's what you want to see. You want to have variety. The only game that doesn't want to have variety is, I think, Call of Duty. It's pretty much the only game competitively that uses the same weapons every single year. As Twigs has just found 2 kills. Where? Twigs, where are you finding these kills?
That's an L-Star too. That's not even like a main weapon. L-Star is energy weapon that usually no one picks up at all. 2 kills right off the bat.
That's definitely a fight or flight moment. It has to be.
Yeah, and
that's TTU red, so Texas Tech going to be the one picking up those 2. We'll get 2 KP out of that.
it also it looked like USM does have a vault key, so they're probably going to end up looking to find this vault, get the loot out of it, which would put them in a really good position going into this game, which is what they're running for right now, is that vault in that cave. They may or may not be contested by another team, which would make sense, because I think there's more than 1 vault key per match, if I'm not mistaken.
We'll have to find out in just a couple seconds as they look to push straight into this. Of course, they are in a decent position already in terms of their loadouts, though the Evo could be a little bit higher up, but it is the start of the game, so there's not much you can realistically do. There it is. Twigs finds the third. Twigs got every single kill. So Texas Tech getting the elim onto UHE, but realistically, it is not Texas Tech getting the kill. It is Twigs Tech getting the kill. Great stuff from him. The vault has been opened, and a lot of loot for USM. So a great start to game number 6, where they really need to get some points.
Yeah, I mean, Thalus's Hemlock is looking really good right now with that purple or that blue stock on it with the purple mag. Man, I'm stumbling over my words right now. Cannot think of names for the life of me. But looking beautiful. Also, having their ultimate right now, which is going to be... Just turns a corner and spots an enemy and immediately starts shooting. Don't know what just happened right there. Biz so close to having their ults, and they get it. They end up not pushing this team, and they're just rotating back out. They really don't need to attack that team. The team is going to end up pushing them. They're out of Storm. But SCC Lucky ends up picking up Cougar Magnet with the Sentinel. Wow.
St. Clair, a team that needs points as well. Now, I'm guessing that player is going to get revived, considering that they haven't died right now, as SCC will lose a player, and that's, I think, 2 separate fights going down for those 2. We'll have to check in with that after someone gets eliminated. That's TU Cherry. Had a pretty solid game last game, solely off of the singular player, but TU Cherry ended up falling there. UCF losing a player. I believe St. Clair's down to 1 player too. That's pretty much all the bottom of the rankings teams beating each other up. TU Cherry is in 14th right now, so they're already eliminated. I believe it was UHE, who was in 19th, that got eliminated first. St. Clair still staying alive, but they are actually in last. They only have 8 points, so St. Clair just trying to get something back, but it's a bit too little too late, at least for today's match day. They're probably not going to get a ton of points overall for their showing out today. San Diego State getting involved, but they are going to end up falling. That is going to put them, probably keep them where they are in 15th. Texas Tech may be able to overtake them, but realistically they'll stay in that 15th, 16th there.
Hopping the Horizon ult and some damage on. I'm pretty sure that was a grip though. But literally just dodging. It's one. This goes down. Taylor does get the kill.
But Theo, look how low Theo is. USM has to be so careful here, and USM, they are going to get eliminated insanely early into game number 6. Not what you want to see, especially when they need points. 17th place, and that is UAB finding those kills. They're going to send USM packing in what will probably be in 7th, 8th place finish on the day.
That is such an unfortunate little ending right there for Southern Miss. It's the Newcastles, man, I'm telling you. Like, every time.
Now, considering where they are overall, which was the standings we brought up earlier, I'm going to just slide that back in front of me real quick to put it out there. They are currently in 2nd overall to UQTR Black, 77 points for them, 75 for Southern Miss. So, realistically, it's not the end of the world if you place 7th, 8th today. You're just not going to get as many points as you realistically could have. Unfortunate, but still they should be in a relatively solid spot for the overall standings, especially when you look at how the rest of the field is playing out. UFC, the only main team to be worrying about, and they are pretty much the only, they will likely overtake Southern Miss, but outside of them, it's probably just going to stay relatively similar to where it was. I know KSU Gold not having a huge day today. Utah Red not doing crazy either. They're doing all right, but not crazy. Texas Tech, similar spot too. And there goes CSUF Orange.
Expected in UCF right now. Nova is already out of it. They do, I'm pretty sure they have the banner. They just need to respawn. And that Newcastle's been, as I said, a very key point to some of these players' wins. Just able to make these barriers. They're playing it very smart. UCF playing this tunnel right now. Sloth getting chased by who knows what team. but they're playing in this tunnel, just trying to play their lives. They are in circle. Gonna have to make an awkward rotation out whenever they do get out of this circle. But they're trying. I think they're looking to respawn Nova, but they're trying to find a way out because they're kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place.
Let's take a look at the map, see where everyone is at here. Where is UCF? I'm struggling to find them at the moment, but
Enemy spotted near me.
I do see them. Thank you for pointing that out, production. I appreciate it. I'm blind. Unhip Lobster and Co. gonna be sitting right next door, but they all are in circle. Literally everyone is in circle except for St. Clair, Texas Tech, and the team that's above them, but you can see on the screen they are going to be making their moves all the way towards circle. And we should be seeing a fight somewhere here soon. And maybe it's going to be UCF getting into it with Tamu Maroon, who is in first place. So if somehow UCF pulls this off, that would be massive. That would make massive waves for the rest of the teams, especially UFC, who is currently in second.
Yeah, I mean, it seems we also have a fight going down there at the bottom of the map.
I think a squad got eliminated there. We can hop out of the map now. I believe someone got Elon, unless it was just a play. It may have just been a player. I couldn't really tell, but we are slowly dwindling away. The rest of Matchday 2 here in the Premier Division of Octane Collegiate. 38 now on the board. UCF just being very patient. I believe it is Tamu Maroon above them, unless if they're in that building over there. It was really hard to tell. Actually, we are going to hop on board with Tamu Maroon, as they are the current leaders overall. Not the kill leaders by a wide margin. That is going to be UFC, who is sitting at 42 kills. Tamu Maroon with 28 plus whatever they have in this game, which I believe is 0.
Maroon playing both behind and in front, pair with a longbow, which is a very interesting weapon to see right here. Only 3 bullets though. Barely any ammo. Also with an EVA 8 auto shotgun. Gonna be, I think they're pinched between 2 teams right now. Also with UCF right underneath them. It's gonna be a bit of an interesting way they play this. They still have to rotate towards that circle in front of them. They're a little bit out of spawn.
Let's check that place out.
They are trying to figure out what to do right now, which
Bogey
Tamu
spotted out
Maroon
there.
is gonna have to at
Let's go.
least place
That
in
way.
the top 5 for them
Bogey
to keep
there.
their spot. Is still in this game, and I can't remember the other top team. Was it you Red?
ISU is in third with 52, and TMU Bold is at 49. So those are going to be the main ones to be looking out for. That is Tamu Maroon, UFC, ISU, and TMU Bold, with KSU Black just a little bit behind. UCF also somewhat in the mix. As I just saw 3 players go down, all from different teams, but Zwifty gonna at least pick up one of them.
Yes, pair did. RIT Black goes down to Pyro.
And look at ISU. They are 2 down. Only 1 player left alive. And Group D spots an entire team. Actually, they're going to be popping the Balgall too. So maybe got a bit lucky there that they didn't turn around and all 3 of them blast him at once. I don't think you would have had a chance to move away at that point. But Group D doing a good job of staying alive. Still a long ways to go though if you want to make up some proper points.
Just trying to stay alive, lets these squads take out each other, but ends up getting spotted. Uses that ult to get him out of the way of these other teams. Trying to figure out a spot, rotate to, but teams on top of teams everywhere. I don't think
He's
there's
just
a
trying to
safe
find
space
somewhere to rotate, and it's just every squad in the lobby is right there.
I don't think there's a safe spot for him. He's trying to hit that respawn beacon, but he's not gonna be able to do it. He's gonna try and shove himself somewhere.
Phoenix Kid at least in the hands, but I mean, is there even going to be enough time to get this one off? It looks like that will be the case. GCU Pookie's going down. It'll still be Group D managing to make the play, stays alive, and continues to rack up some placement points. Definitely not KP though.
No, not at all. He's trying to. UCF ends up going down to Swifty. It's interesting. UCF got right there before they ended up
Texas A&M taking them out too.
Interesting.
So they are certainly going to have first place, I think, after this game is over. They could probably even get eliminated like now, and I think it would not really matter that much. You're seeing St. Clair still get some damage down range. Would have liked to have seen that earlier in the day, I'd imagine, as
Tamu
Tam...
Maroon is gone. Oh my gosh. 11th place from Tamu Maroon. They are out.
There's a chance they're still in first, by the way, after that, if you were curious. I want to be proven right so badly. The fact that I said they could get eliminated right now and it would be fine, and then they get eliminated right now and they might be fine is crazy. Pear is going to die to bleeding out, so St. Clair going to lose Dinga. Sorry, Pear gets the kill for that. As you can see, Group D wants to shoot so bad, but knows it is just a horrible idea because you're just going to have basically everyone, and they end up getting spotted. So still alive. Group D is playing their life so well, but I don't think it's going to last much longer.
It can't last much longer. He probably had a couple opportunities to go for that respawn, but I don't think he's going to do it. He's going to sit here in between the cargo container and those barrels and just play as quietly as he can. He's looking to see St. Clair goes down too, taken out by UU, or not UU.
Ottawa.
Ottawa. Also, an interesting little thing, Meadsy is running a charge rifle.
Let's go. Love to see it.
Why?
Hop on board with Texas. A little bit more of a pickle than Group D, which is kind of hard to say considering how how awkward of a position Group D has been in for the past 10 minutes.
Still alive though. He's just waiting.
And look at this. You're going to see Godfather maybe wanted to go for something there, but the rest of the team is underneath. So we'll end up sitting below. Now they're getting shot from across the way, though. And Texas Tech may have made a great mistake. Twig's last player left alive. Mozambique doing damage, but they're not the same as they used to be. And TTU Red out of the game. Now 7 squads remain. Group D is still just chilling in a corner. On the other side, you're going to see Ottawa start losing players. Pyro finds 2. Ottawa 1 player left alive. That's going to be Astral. Is there anything they can do? Smoke's getting thrown down. Pyro finds 2 of the players of Ottawa, but can they find the third? Astral in a very tough spot right now as they're getting hopped up on. There might only be 1 player left on this squad as well. It'll be Ottawa finally falling, and Pyro will get all 3. ISU getting a lot of placement points, just waiting out the rest of these squads.
Group D is trying to play. He could potentially win this.
Yeah, also Group D probably single-handedly taking over Texas A&M Maroon from this placement points, so that is also worth thinking about.
Red also still in this game. Placement points. Oh, and Group D was found.
Finally.
He's gone.
On my mark.
6th place, not bad for the fact that he sat there from, I think it was 14 teams.
Yeah, that is still absurd how long they were there. But as I was saying, Tamu Maroon might be good. I kind of forgot UFC is still in this game, so definitely not. Tamu will probably move to 3rd, that or stay in 2nd, or go down to 2nd. But regardless, UFC should move up to that 1st place spot just based on how well they're placing. They are going to go down here, though. They will lose their last player probably in just a couple seconds. There are 5 squads remaining, as I believe UFC is down to 1 player left alive. As that kill onto 1 STER is there. Yep, and there they go. UFC is eliminated in 5th place. Very, very good day from them. They will probably be 1st overall in today's play day, as you're seeing more shots go down range. This is going to be Utah Red. Now, trying to take game number 6. They are in, right now, 10th place. They have won a game today, looking to win their 2nd. That certainly would shoot them up in the standings pretty heavily, but they've got 3 more squads left to work through.
The way UU Red's playing this right now, I mean, gold P2020s with the Spitfire in their back pocket. A gold Team U Bold, only 1 left, playing with a gold flatline, ends up taking shots, probably would have been better off just sitting there.
I mean, just doing so much damage. The squad that goes to third party them is going to have 3 pickings. TMU Bold will be eliminated, though. That is some good placement. They should stay in 4th, to be honest with you. KSU Black, though, could overtake them. So could UU Red, but they are both, or UU Red at least, is kind of far out from that placing. There's down to the top 3, CSDH, UU, and I believe the other squad is TMU Bold, or no, sorry, not TMU Bold, KSU Black.
We're seeing a little bit of the same comp here from all teams. It's Newcastle, Watson, and Bangalore, and they're just pumping down and trying to save their lives as much as they can. A little bit affect Watson's ultimate ability. She throws down this machine that regenerates their shields slowly over time, so it's really good to keep her down in the building. Take shots at teams, and if they hit you, it's okay. It seems as if we're about to get a little bit of a mistake here.
In the final fight, right here, right now, you're going to see CSUDH gone. That is going to be Utah taking them out. Now it's Utah versus KSU Black for the last match of the day. And it's looking like Utah is going to hop straight down into the fight. It's going to be Utah, though, losing their lives. That's 2 down. Last player of the livest match. Not a chance in the fight. KSU Black are your final champions of the day.
I thought Utah had that game. They looked so good.
They had the high ground and they gave it up.
And they had purple and red Evo shield. KSU Black only had purple and blue.
We have learned nothing from Star Wars. Take the high ground when you have it, please. As Utah Red going to fall there. KSU Black gonna get the final win of the day. That should move them up pretty far in the standings, as I will spam refresh until we get the final results for today. As you can see there, 3 kills from KSU Black in first. UU Red 7, 23 from TMU Bold in 4th place.
What?
Where did those kills come from?
I have no idea.
Wow, TMU Bold. A huge game that could throw them all the way to the top of the standings if the cards have fallen correctly. But that is going to be it for the matches today. As you can see, lobby closing in a few seconds. So that will be it for games. And we have the final standings of Match Day 2 and Octane Premier. It'll be TMU Bold taking first place, 77 points. They had 53 kills. Second will be U of C with 64 points. TMU Maroon third with 63. And ISU Farmers 4th place. USM falling all the way to 8th, which actually, I say all the way, they were in 7th, so they fell 1 spot. Let's see, KSU Black all the way in 5th, UU Red in 6th, UCF Knights in 7th, and rounding out the top 10, you have GCU Pookies at 9th and KSU Gold at 10th. So a long day of Apex, a great day of Apex. Southern Miss having a bit of an off day. Here, they end up finishing 8th. But congrats to TMU Bold. They pulled it together the last couple of matches. So good stuff from them. They will certainly shoot up in the standings, overall standings. We'll see them, though, next week, I believe. It'll be B versus C in groups. So we will not be streaming it. Southern Miss is in Group A, so we will not be seeing that match, at least here. But that's going to do it for us today. Make sure you follow us on social media at USM Esports on Twitter/X and at Southern Miss Esports on the rest of the platforms, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and right here on Twitch. Go down below, follow, subscribe, or follow at least if you haven't already. And that is going to do it for us today. Thank you all for joining. We will catch you guys back here tomorrow morning at noon CST with CRL. It'll be both of us back here on the desk, so we'll catch you guys then. Thank you all for joining us. And one more thing.
Southern Miss
to the top. See you guys tomorrow.